with the developer who all are using that iOS devices, you may see that loading is making faster, and as you see it's continuous loading. And if you just there is an null check is here, even I removed that, you can see the continuous loading issue just gone. So this is the one certain kind of things which is happening in the loading. I kept it in the index.tsx where the loading instances were running. But there is another catch you need to focus, and that is that whenever you are using that Xcode, remember, if you need to go in the settings for the Xcode, and over here as you can see the 18.4, so 18.4 is having the problem for just creating that network issues. So what I recommend you to not to use that 18.4, but you can just, as you see I downgrade, I went to through 18.4, and you can just grab it from here iOS. You can choose the preferable simulator, but don't go apart from 18.4. Rest are all okay, so you can just simply try it. Now what you're gonna do, as you see now we can fetch all of our product, and especially if we go back to the shop, you can see we have our all product segment, and also I think in the product store where we supposedly maybe we make something logged in previously, we need to remove that. So I think this our all product segment is working perfectly. And also let's just go in the API. I believe there is some log should be there, which we previously set for just to check if it's working or not. You see, okay, network response here. Okay, cool. So I think search terms working perfectly. I think we're good. We're good, and I'm just gonna make a reload just to see if everything working perfectly. Okay, nice. So our bundling, our every other scenario is looks fine. So let's go to our shop, and we are gonna build our categories and other segment here. Now for the shop, as you may remember, we first need to fetch our products and categories. That's what we were going to doing, but there was some certain kind of issue was happening. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make an use effect function here, and within the use effect we're gonna render whatever the documents and properties we require. So first thing first, it's going to be, let's say, fetch our categories, and also by the way we're gonna fetch our products too. So that's both gonna be render it all together. So we're gonna render our products, and also we're gonna set another parameter is that what can be, whenever we're gonna click in certain kind of category, we're gonna bring the category using the params. So like we come back to the screen where we can bring the params from any of the category. If we go right here, you can see there is the categories. Whenever we click, we are coming here right with the params. So if we just go in that index properties, and right now we need to implement that. I believe we was not did that in previously or hand before. So we're gonna go where we, as you see, navigation to category. So I think we should go whenever tab should be shop. You see the category which we are passing. So we're passing the params, we are just distributing the category. I think we can just simply grab the category like that. No need to access like a bait on that. So we know that in the params we can just capture in the category, but I think, yeah, I think that's enough. We can just simply go with the category because we got category as a string. Now we need to capture that category too, where we are doing that particular synonym. So how we can do that? We can just simply go on that after the function itself. Here we can just simply make a method const that should be q, and that q should be, let's say it going to be happen to be search param. So the search param, param, search param, and the search param going to be having that to be take the category, and the category should be category param, and from there we're gonna use the use search params method. So that's gonna find out from our expo router. I think it should be for the search params. I think I'm gonna I will not use that one. I'm going to use local search params. I think that would be a particularly good solution for that. So should be use local search params, and that's going to be coming from expo router. Done. So now if we just make a simple log just to see if we can receive anything as far for the category. So let's say it should be category. I think that category should be category param. Okay, so right now I think we can simply grab our category. So yeah, Okay, so we are having the search params. Okay, I think there is some more things is still require, where we can define that our search param methodology, which is going to be that q could be q could be just simply a string. So a string, and category should be a category. Q should be a string, and after that we should another method where we're gonna find that, let's say, category, which going to be also as a part of a string. Now we can just simply log our category. Is it not capturing at all? So we can just fill it through. Actually, it will not be the category, it will be simply the search params, which I can also you can log the category params. So you're gonna log that, but first I'm gonna see the search param. So search params is getting empty, so there is nothing combining with the search. Let's say category param, and let's see what's gonna happen. You see the jewelry. If we go back here to our home, and if we try to click any of the men's clothing, you see the men's clothing is coming here. For the search param, it will not be there, because as you know, we are not going to having the searchable thing required. We're gonna just click and directly go to our search page. Now, as we can ensure that we're having all the things is set and done, so it's time for us to capture all of the products and other related data. So what I'm gonna do, so let's just, as we are having that active option, set filter active and set filter portion here, and so think as far as we did that all. So also we're gonna do one more property here. If we have that, let's say if we have that category param, so we're gonna set the category. As you see, we have category, we will set it as directly here. So whenever we're gonna come back here, so as you see, whenever I'm gonna coming back here from that particular category, I'm gonna secure that one right here. So right now, as we are not having that, so I'm gonna go home and coming back, I think still it's gonna hold up as we are not mentioning any other properties. So by default it's gonna capture properly. And let's go to the shop, and right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to see if we can receive our categories. So all the categories should be there, only then we can make things better. You see that categories is right now is logging. If you're still having persisting the problem, no worries, go to the repo, clone it, and you're good to go. So what you're gonna do, we made that all properties, right? So the all is working perfectly. So what we're gonna do after that all, after that touchable opacity, we need to filter all of our categories, right? So within a simple property, I'm gonna make that categories dot map. If categories is available, every single thing gonna be as a category part, and from there I'm gonna just simply return back, and then we're gonna return a touchable opacity, not text, touchable opacity. And within the touchable opacity, remember the one which we fill the top. So that's the same thing, the text should be category, not the name. It would be the category, remember it's the simple procedure is there. So the text would be category, and of course we can make some of the room within that one. So I'm gonna make that category dot character at, and we're gonna go and visualize with the character at. So it should be 0, and I'm gonna make it to uppercase, because we want the first letter to be uppercase, and after that we're gonna make a plus sign. So let's just go through it all together, and we're gonna make that category dot slice 1. So we are just going to making it better. Now you see that is just here and it's working better, but one more thing is that touchable opacity, we need to provide a key, and every single category is different. So I'm going to put that category as the key, and the other problem going to disappear. So now why and what's are all the things we can mention right here is that, remember the scroll view which we did here. So this is our scroll view which having the categories container. So this is basically pulling through all the details for the category skin resolution. So what we're gonna do, we need to work with our touchable opacity right here, because there can be some subdimensional property here. So I'm gonna just copy the previous one. So just copy that style which we did before in our previous value. So I'm gonna just make it like that. Now you're gonna see everything is just getting the color. Okay, so I need to make that philanthropist not is equal to null, but is equal to the category. Only then it gonna pour that through. And also for this style, I'm gonna go and copy the previous copy, and over here similar thing, but and instead of null, it's gonna be as category. Now if I click something, nothing is changing, right? So I need to make a simple function over here which will be just indicating that on press functionality. So on press, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make that, let's say, handle category. That should be handle category press, and I'm gonna, within the props property, I'm gonna passing that category, so that now we can just, or instead, I think it's not required to passing that, we can just need to make simply category as category, right? So you can do it within function also, and then you can also do it set category as category. So now whenever we're changing a category, men's clothing, you see selected, because that's the thing which we did. Now here you see, this is just, remember, at the front layer, at the home page, what we did. Now here you can do it too. So you know how to do it, but I'm gonna keep it normal so you can try that you did it. So this okay, filter view is not okay, we'll work with that, so no worries about that. So now what we need to do, we need to work with that. As you see, this all is not working properly, so we need to also make the functionality on that property layer. So for all, also whenever we click, so the same thing going to happen on click, and here instead of that, set category should be null. That's it. So if we click, you can see it's null, jewelry, all, and the product is fetching according to that, because as you see, we pouring that through together. So whatever the products is coming is tend to take the same capacity, the one which we are fetching. So now what we're gonna do, this is absolutely done in vendor header. So let's go back to our property here, and after the wrapper here, it's time for us to bring all other properties, right? So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna create a scope here. So like if we have a filter products, and filter products dot length is is bigger than 0 or equal to 0, I'm gonna keep it is equal to 0, as the value gonna come 0. I'm gonna make that an empty state, empty, or I'm gonna just right now put a view. So let's put the text, no products, and I missed that question mark here. And after that is if we are happen to be having the product, we can simply make that, let's say it should be a text, let's say just putting another view and grabbing the text, let's say passing that products. So now we are having products, go men's clothing, having products, go women's clothing, having products, jewelry, having products, all of the category mostly having the products. So now we are going to, and I think those things, it will not take in place like the one which we are fetching particularly for the product ratio. So now what we can do here is that every time we are changing, then we can just make make the things happen to be in a good way. So first of all, I want to show the product, then I'm gonna go and make a lot of other things. So first we need to create the error state, right? So how we can do that, and before rendering here, after the render header, we can also make that if we have the loading coming from the top, and if we have the loading and filter products dot length is equal to 0, then we want to make something which gonna say this auto type. Okay, if the length is equal to, let's say, 0, then we want to make let's say return that should be loading spinner, and we want to make it as full weight. Okay, so that's how it's gonna initialize on that. I'm gonna make a spinner component, save, and let's just to say it's not loading. Okay, and also null. Okay, it's not working. I think did we just misinterpret? Yes, I believe so. Okay, if we have loading, okay, I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna make it null checked. So yeah, now you can see the loading as the top. It's happened to be at the top, but it should take the immediate space. So what we can do, we can simply wrap that in initial layer. So if we're having the loader, we can now pass that trigger on that. So this is how we can really take the action. So what I will do, I will just simply go copy that. I'm gonna make it a view, and then gonna passing the lower should be AW, and let's say passing this style, and I'm gonna make that flex 1. Okay, so just you to show that it's really working, and As you see, flex 1, and let's say item ln item center, items should be center, justify content center, and you see the loading is done. So whenever this loading happen, that should be loading spinnering all together. But this one, I don't want to show it here. Like, this is the loading coming from at the top, so I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna keep that, but I build that one and I'm gonna keep that. And also you can pass another motion here. What could be like if we are having an error, and that error of course gonna coming from our data set, and then you can pass the error. So if we're having that error, we can just simply go and initialize something that should be return, and the return should be, let's say I'm gonna just return within a wrapper. You can also do the wrapper at the top layer, that would be good. So view, and that view, the message should be, let's say the style component, I think the style component, and here should be, let's say, passing that text, and the text will contain error, and we're gonna pass our error properties, error. So that will contain all the error mechanism whenever we are fetching from our server, whenever we are filtering or getting the product. So style should be, let's say, styles.error container, and over here the style should be, let's say, styles.error text. And if you just check at the bottom, is flex 1 align item center, justify content center, padding 24, and error text coming up with a text ratio. Now why we're doing that, this entire design is not gonna come if you're having an error. As you see, so the error, it will be there, so the page, it will not render. So this entire thing we can check also at the bottom. So this is not actually a good work to keep, like whenever we are having error, we're having loading, we are showcasing at the global layer. This is not a good practice to just capturing or blocking your entire UI. This entire, like this electronics is, there is a problem to fetching the product, the loading going to spinning, so it will not block your entire scenario. So I want to I want to make it free for entire space, so I'm gonna keep all thing below that. So first thing first, we're gonna go with our filter products.length is equal to 0 and other. So first we're gonna render the products, then we're gonna make the other thing. So first thing first, if we go, we will create an empty state. So we're gonna create a new file which should be, let's say, empty state.tsx rnfes. So that will render our altogether the empty state properties. And what I'm gonna do, first of all, if we are like, if the value is like we are doesn't having the product, we wanted to make it an empty state, so that should be coming here, and over there we will make that empty state. Okay, and of course I want to make it as a, like, predefine it like that, so we will be able to view that empty state is not equal to 0. You can see now empty state. So let's go back, and for the empty state we're gonna also pass two of the variants. One, it will be type, another it will be particularly the message. So type, it will be the search, so we can generate the icon, and the message, no products found matching your criteria. So we're gonna go at the top, and over here, so this is how we can commonly make it done. So this is a very easy and compact way to go and make the style and picture all of the segment. So first of all, that will be our styles, which gonna combine with colors and other property. Now overall at the top, we are going to render something. So in here we're gonna take some of the type properties. So we're gonna first define our type, whatever the type we can render within this property. And so the type should be, let's say, type empty. I'm gonna first take the props, like empty state type. So whatever the types, we can bring it here. The type could be, let's say, it can matching through the type can be card, and also we will it can be, or let's say it should be search, and also it could be, let's say, favorite orders, and I'm gonna make that let's say wish list should be favorites orders profile. So it can be defined, we can use it anywhere, and you can just value with the type. So this is our type. And now interface, we're going to define that empty state props. So whatever the thing is going to be coming as property for the property, it would be definitely going to be provide a type, which going to be, let's say, it will be that empty state type, and then the message, which going to be optional, and which also be bringing us an string, and also let's say action level. label string, and then on action. So whenever clicking on the action, whatever the dispatch gonna method, it will be coming as a void like a function. So over here I'm going to define that react.fc, so is a functional component, and we're going to define that empty state props, and of course we want to take the first argument, not the second one. And over there I'm going to declare all of the properties. It's going to take the type, it's going to take the message, it's going to take the label. So now we are preparing all of the segment. And of course, we need to define the icon first. So instead, like upon depending on the type, like if we are having the cart, we're gonna provide the shopping cart icon. If we have the search, you're gonna provide the end design, like the search icon, fabrics, heart icon. So it gonna depends whatever the icons we are providing and whatever the actions we are dispatching. So now we're gonna make a simple ratio const get item, and within the get item, it's going to be just a simple arrow function here by which we can declare whatever the icon we are going to provide. So first I'm going to make a switch case here. Okay, so in the switch there should be a single argument. First it's going to take the, not single, multiple argument could be there, but there will be a two notion, was switch, one case. So that's how we're going to render. So first we're going to define the case. If the case is equal to, let's say, cart. So if right now I'm passing the type as search, right? So it will not be the question of the card. But if there is a card, what is gonna happen? If there is a card, I'm gonna return, and of course in the return value we're gonna not return any other thing. We're gonna return an icon, should be and design, and I'm gonna provide the name. The name should be shopping cart, and of course the size. Now you can also pass the props, the size as the props, but I'm gonna take the size as normal, so it will be a simple size for everybody. And the color should be, let's say it could be app colors dot gray dot 400. So now as you can see, there is a very interesting thing is happening there. As you can see the size, so const size, let's say I'm gonna make it as 64, and const color, let's say color should be app colors dot gray. So instead of writing for every single purposes, I can simply pass that, so the size and the colors, right? So now we have a single variant done, right? In case of it's just a type of a case of card, it could be depending on that. And also we can now go and picture the other two scenario. So if it's term of search, you can see it will be undesign search 1, fabrics, heart 2. So now as you see the same thing, now instead of writing everywhere, you can simply change the color and size accordingly the way you prefer. And also, by the way, you can make it, you can pass it as an array value if you are wanting to. So I will just trying to make it simple. Now this is the three type. One is the search, one is the card, one is fabrics. Now what could be the default variation? So the default could be return null. So by default you are calling it somewhere and you are not passing any of the type. It could be just a default parameter, or if it's not matching with those three name, it would be default. Now you can also provide a default icon. So as you can see, you can just return that. If you want to put the icon, return, and the default could be, let's say, box plot, or what the icon it can be done, let's say user. Okay, user icon, just to keep it like that. Now is the game changer thing is that also we can now get the message. First const get default message. So this will be rendering a simple functional and formality by which we can render a default message parameter. So now it's up to you if you want to go with the message here, because for this one we're going to pass a message, but in certain periods that we don't want to pass a message, we want to showcase the default message where you can grab it. This is the way which we are showing is also coming as a production grade, using trying to looping through all the fallback state, like if there is a mistake, what can be done. So we are trying to cover up as many cases as possible. Right now what we can do, we need to render the property. First of all, we're going to provide a style, and the style should be styles.container. So this is going to handle everything. As you see, flex 1, item center, justify center, padding 24. And then we're going to having that instead of this one, we're going to having the property which will be get icon. Why we are not getting that? So should be, oh okay, it is not the get item, should be get icon. Okay, Now we can simply pass that get icon function, and we can see, if you see search icon, now instead of search we can just put that like something else. You see user icon is coming by fallback, and if we make that shopping cart, it will not be doing anything, but if we make that cart, it's gonna provide our shopping cart. So that's what we did right now. So as you can see, also the message is gonna coming right instance. And after that also we're gonna provide, like say text should be, if the text, there should be a condition. If there is a message, okay, first it's gonna show the if or the default message. So no products found matching your criteria. And also if you just gonna remove that, it will also capture the same establishment. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put that style over here, and then the style property should contain the icon container, which just providing a margin bottom of 16, nothing else. And also in the style for the message, which going to be covering up styles dot, and that should be message. And here in the message we are making that font size 18, color secondary, item center, margin bottom 24. Now there should be an actionable button which is going to be created. So if we have that action label, and if we have that on action, only then we want to render it, otherwise it will not render. So what we're gonna render, we're gonna render our button properties from our button component, and over here we're gonna pass several things. The title should be, let's say the title, which is going to be, let's say should be that action label, and then on page should be, let's say it gonna handle on action property, and after that the variant should be, let's say primary, and the last property, the style should be generating styles dot button, and styles dot button is means margin top 16. That's it. So now how we gonna capture it, we should passing that action label and on action. If we just remove this to property, you can see this is just a button. Whenever we click, the action should be dispatching from there. No worries, we're gonna render it, but right now as you see we are having the product, so we will not be seeing that. Of course we want to see those part where we are capturing all the product properties. Now this is the game changer moments to stay with. First of all, here we're gonna render a simple flat list. Okay, so should be flat list from React Native, and on the flat list we are going to provide the data, which is going to be a filtered products. That is our data, and the key extractor, we need to extract the key, and every single item should be capturing as item, and the item.id we're gonna make that as toString property. So okay, should be toString, so it gonna capturing even the property should be aligned or deconfigured. It will always provide a string value here, and it will not mismatch with any other. Now for the number of columns, I'm gonna provide a 2, so that would be 2 values side by side, and also let's say provide the render item, so should be render item, and on that render item I'm gonna destructure the item, and from the item I want to return the properties, and remember I'm gonna return a view, so provide a view. Within the view I'm gonna return our product cart. That's it. So that's where the magic gonna happen. So the product should be the item, and you can capture that as a product also instead of item. You can simply run that in. If you don't want to put the item, you can just make it product, and for the product you can pass the product. And I think for the product okay, does not exist. Okay, there is a problem of the type, but I'm gonna go with my magical fashion of the item. It's very simple and easy. And for the custom style, I'm gonna provide that style property. Should be, let's say I'm gonna provide a width of not 48, but it gonna capture the parent 100% property. If we save, and right now we are not seeing anything, it's because maybe we made some mistake. So let's go over here and let's try. Okay, something we are fetching undefined. What we are logging at the top, let's just see. No, we are not logging anything. What is saying here, a number of columns on the fly is not supported. Okay, I think we need to reload, because whenever you are like generating the number of columns, you need to reload the property to initiate that changes. You can see, oh, now we can see. Okay, good. Okay, so if we go at the shop, okay, so now we're having that, but it's not so good, because you see the image and the data, the design, everything is broke, should be two side by, but it's getting the side by side. No worries, don't freak out. We are going to make it better. So first of all, on the flat list, there is some more property is there. So we will capture that first. The content container style should be, let's say, styles.productsGrid. That's the style we're gonna capture. And also for that column wrapper style, so that would be handling that style.column wrapper. And show vertical, so show vertical indicator. See the indicator which is showing here, we don't want to show it, so that should be false. And one more properties we need to configure, that should be list footer component, which going to be passing that, let's say, going to be generating a view, and that should be an empty view. On that empty view should be style gonna be passing at styles dot footer. That's it. And one more property is going to popping up, as you see over here, style should be style styles dot product container. And that's how it gonna capturing all together. So first thing first, what we are doing in the product container, you can see here we are providing the weight of 48%. So this is the weight by capturing every product getting the scenario, right? And as you see, we're making it 48, and this is actually capturing the entire weight. If you don't put that one, you can see there could be a slightly breakable event, because in the product card, if you just see and visualize here, what we are doing here, we're providing a 48%. So it will just grab the 48% of those. So we need to provide that one as a 48% here, so that it can capture and render the 100% over there. Now for the product content container and the products grid, padding horizontal 5, margin top, that margin top containing that stop gap from each and every single compartment. Column wrapper, justify between, even you just remove that, you see there's a slight difference because this is just capturing all the entire properties. And product container 48%, and footer, which is the height of 100 right now. Okay, I think we should making something else. That could be, let's say, we can do something containing container style, which is the product grid, and I want that, let's say, padding not block but bottom, I want to make it as 50. So I want that one to be, you see, that could be a little bit top. Okay, that's nice. So now, as you see, if we click on electronics, that electronics products is coming. Click on jewelry, so jewelry is rendering. Men's clothing is rendering. Women's clothing is coming. And of course we need to make it all, so the all products gonna render. So now, why we need to provide that? Why? There you see previously what I told you, we cannot, this is not a good practice if you are putting the loading and putting the others, you see this much complexity. So I'm gonna just do it again, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take back the loading, I'm gonna copy it, and over here, as you see, that's the passing that property. I'm gonna just minimize it. I'm gonna pass the loading variance. Okay, I need to provide that. No, so I think, yeah, it should be like that. If there is a loading, only then. So I'm gonna copy that. Of course, I'm gonna just save it, and here I'm gonna pass the properties. So instead of that rendering view, because remember we are now partially writing within the JX parameters, so we need to just okay, I think I misspelled something. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. So you can see there is the view here. So this entire view segment, it will not work. We no need to return that, because remember in the global view we already within a return view, right? So just simply you're gonna pass that if we having loading state, and we are just okay, what we did, loading state, and just render that. Okay, so now instead of capturing, as you can see, if we just come over here, I think I need to make reload, because it's a first attempt happen, the product is already, we are passing the justent, and you know it will not disappear. So if we go here, okay, right now it's good. So we're having the product. Okay, so if we are having the loading view, that view going to be coming right here. So right now if we are not having the view, okay, cool, we can just pass the view also here. So let's just go also the error property. I'm gonna keep the error here. So if there is an error, I want it to be shown at the top. I don't want to show anything. So if any error happening, just keep it like that. And now for the product itself, use product store, I'm gonna go and try to make something happen. So whenever we click, we are fetching especially our product, right? So this time it should be rendering something very equal and very generic. So let's go back here and let's go back to our shop, and you can see this is now capturing the property, the problem which we are facing. Remember, I told you this is coming the power problem of iOS. It's just blocking our responses. And as you see, if you're having the same thing, what I recommend you to like do uninstall the code and uninstall that, so you can just remove that one and then try again to reinstall, and that time it can also be causing for the memory issues. You know, this application is pretty much heavy, so it can be done. So this one, it will be very simple and easy. You can just remove your app and then start again. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I think if you do that, it will work perfectly too. So now you can see it's disappear, and I can go with the non-blocking state here, and that's it. Everything working perfectly. So when we are fetching the product, we are grabbing the filter product. So this is how for the fetch category, set category, or setting the category. I think we can do one more thing. There's a search product queue here, so we are passing that sort by, which we need to, you see, whenever we click, we need to initialize our sorting property. So that's the one which we need to capture. And by the way, you see, await get product by category. I can really, if category is there, let's say I'm gonna make that set as, let's say it should be, I'm gonna make it loading as true. I want to see what's going to happen. Okay, loading, but why the loading state is not coming? That is my question. So I'm gonna go and try to make log the loading. So let's just checking the loading is true false, and over here again typing that true false is capturing true and getting false, but it's not properly monitoring everything. It's because, remember, we are having that loading state at the root layer, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just initially capture that. I'm gonna cut it. Okay, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. You see that loading? Just to grab it, so we can see the loading here. So that would be the actual view here, just to go and prefetch that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it here. So as we're going over there, so I think not require that and sign here. So it should be coming as a question mark, and within the question mark layer, so if we have that, and I think yes, we need to render the view here, so like that, and I think that should disappear. Okay, so maybe this, no. Okay, I'll go one more time because it's really confusing me also. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write it again here, so it will be very simple. So if we have the loading, then we're gonna pass the loading view instances here. So as you see that it's gonna capture this entire segment, so this entire loading parameter gonna be close. So if we have loading, then pass that, control B, otherwise pass that. I think that would be simple, and I'm gonna remove this parameter which is not required. So right now you see, whenever you are seeing loading, event clothing loading, welcome clothings also loading. So you can see now the variance is changed. So every time we are really making some distinguish change, we can now see the loading view property. So this is a very crucial thing. Now we need to go and capture our spatial, like the filter parameter, which can really make things changeable. Now for the filter, so let's go at the top layer of our render header, and over render header we did something here called filters here. So this is the one which actually activating the filter. So now what we're gonna do, we have the condition by which we can make the filter, right? So we will make just simply over here that on, let's say on press. So within the on press parameter, I'm gonna make that, let's say right now I'm gonna make this one as a set is filter active and not active, so that you can see the color combination is changed. But this is not the actual case. The scenario is not happening, because whenever we're gonna make that filter activate, I want to create some more parameters. So if we go at the top, we have a active show model and show sort model. So source model is right there. So what I'm gonna do for that instances, instead of making that particular of that active, I'm gonna make that one, I'll remove that. Let's say set show sort model, which going to be true. So every time I click, okay, right now it's activated, but okay, I'll go click one more time because I want to make it deactivate, so the color it will disappear. Okay, now, okay, so it will make the show model as true. So now it's time for us to create that scenario, because we now need to create a model. So what I'm gonna do over here, as we did everything in that particular segment, I'm gonna create a model which need to be imported from React Native. And that model, so that model would be visible, like say it should be visible whenever our show model is activated, or you can say the show short model is activated, and there would be a certain kind of scenario which we need to make these things to work. And for that particular instances, I will make it transparent, and after that also I'm gonna make it animation type, which will be, let's say it should be a fade away, and also on request close. So on request it should be on request close. I want that to be, let's say, set show model short show model to be false. Okay, so that would be false. So right now, okay, I think some of the error is happening, so let's just go over there. I will just reload it again. Maybe I misspelled something and that is disappearing. So now let's go back to our shop. Okay, so if we click here, you can see the show model should be, it's already there, but it's not visible. You see, now I cannot click anything because the viewport is transparent. So now what I'm gonna do, and there is one more thing which we did. We make a self-closing model, which not to be. Of course, there should be a property and condition. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna style a view here, and within that view we're gonna having another view. Now this view going to be style, and that should be, let's say, styles dot model view. So that would be our entire, or you can say the model overlay. So that would be the overlay by which the model will stay. And also I'm going to provide another style which going to be the model content. So by these two parameter, we can see the model to be staying by so far within our realm. So now if we go here and if we click, you can okay, there is a callback, which is the view must be function received undefined. Okay, that's my bad. That's need to be complicated, you know. So the view which it should be the uppercase. So now you see there is the model content. So if we go over here in the overlay, we're making flex 1, and the background color is putting an RGB color, like a transparent opacity, and justify content flex in, so it will be at the end. And also the background color, which is the background color primary, to making it as white as possible, but the top radius 16, top right radius at 16, and padding 24. If I just remove the padding, you'll see nothing here. Okay, so that's how we can combine it. So we have the padding, now we know there is the model content. So this is the time where we can put our content here to be bypassing each and every single compartment. So within the model content, we're gonna first put the view, which is going to be passing that, let's say there should be a text, and on that text it would be written there, let's say short by. So this will be our first text, and over here put a style which should be saying styles dot model header, and also for the text itself should be a style, and that should be styles dot model title. I believe so. Yeah, title. So right now, if you see the header, it just putting a flex row, justify space between, alert item center, margin bottom 16, because it would be two overlay side by side. That's why we make it flex justify between, and also in row. And the model title, just providing a very good scenario by making it a font semi-bold and font size 18, color is the app color. After that one, we will provide another one which should be undesign, and on that undesign parameter, we will make the name. The name should be, let's say, a close icon would be there, and the size should be I will provide it as 24, and then the color should be, let's say I'm gonna make that colors text primary, or yeah, colors text app colors text primary, so it will be black color. Now upon clicking on that particular segment, so this ant view, so that should be wrapping entirely with a touchable opacity, then passing that here. So whenever I'm gonna click on that particular segment, let's say on press, so I want to run something, should be set show short model should be, let's say false. So this is gonna happen on that instances. So you see click done. If you go here, open, close, that you can make fade, or you can make any other parameter, or easy in, or slide. I think there should be slide in, maybe. Or you can just simply, if I just retype again, I can see that, yeah, fade none slide. So once you click on side, it will just popping up like that. Yeah, that's the side is doing. But I will use the fade for these particular instances. I think that would do the purposes. Okay, right now as we did that, so it's time for us to put other container here. So as you see, that's the header portion here. So after that header view, I'm gonna go and make another touchable opacity. The first view, you can make it using an array, but I will just make it in a simple way so that you will be easily understand that. So there would be a price range section, should be low to high. Okay, so that would be one piece of price section here. Whenever we click, price would be low to high. And also for this one, let's say put a style, so that should be styles dot sort option text, so that you can see the text here. And also I'm gonna put a style, so that is style going to be coming as an array, so should be styles, let's say styles dot sort option, short option, so that would be option. Okay, so I think this is taking a bit of big places. And also I'm gonna make that I think, yeah, if it's active sort option is there, and if active sort spawn is, if you say it should be price ascending ASC, then I want to inject some of the style. It's style dot active sort option, so this would be not there, this would be there. Okay, okay, like that. Why did I miss anything? Style, okay, I think some of the property may disappear. Okay, yeah, that one was disappear. That's my bad. Whenever I was typing, okay, I will go one more time. I'll go one more time because I think I misspelled something, and because of that the problem was evaporated. So here is the option. So if the source option is coming back of that price, let's ASC, and then we want to provide that should be styles dot active sort button, so that would be the active button here. So now if you go, okay, why my sort property is not working? If I check over here, I think we are good to go, but especially for the model content here. So this is my header, right? So this is the header containing everything, and then we are having our model content. And for the touchable opacity, we are having that. I think sort option text also doing good. So we have that active sort button, and if it's the price ascending, only then it would be activated. Did I injected something more? Okay, let me just get side by side. I think that should work properly. Nope. Okay, let me figure it out why I'm messing around. Okay, I think that was the problem, because whenever I was entertaining the sort option parameter, I think, did you use it anywhere? So this is the short option. Okay, styles only here. Yeah, so now it's because happened to be for the parameter which we were checking before, so that's why maybe. So this not be there, like that's the one which we are capturing, that should not be the case. So we can now fundamentally handle the sort option how we want it to be. I'll make it as a padding vertical. Okay, I'm gonna just save that so you can see the changes. Now I'm gonna make the good one, which would be, let's say for the sort option padding vertical should be, let's say 16. Yeah, and then I'm gonna make a border bottom width, and I'm gonna provide a 1 pixel, and also border bottom color, and that color should be, let's say app colors dot text, or I'm gonna make it a gray of 20, not 20 but dot 200. Why? Okay, done. 200. So now you can see a separating vertical and other option is chooses. So I think that is how it working perfectly now. So now this is one option should be handled all together. So this is the sort option, and I'm gonna make it an on click event here, or not a click but an on press event here. And what it gonna happen is whenever I'm gonna make that one, let's say on press, and I will make a passing that, let's say I'm gonna provide that handle sort functionality, and over here I'm gonna just save it as price ascending, and then I'm gonna click that event at the top. So let's just copy that, and over at the top I'm gonna just declare the function. So let's say should be handle sort option, and from there I will take the sort option. So whatever the sort parameter I'm passing, I will take the sort by, and which going to be passing that as a value which going to become a price ascending, price descending, and also should be one more parameter which can be, let's say I will pass that is a according to rating also it can happen. Now over here I'm gonna just declare the functional parameter so that it could be easily manageable. Let's say short products, I will call that function, and I'm gonna provide by sort by. So that's the one parameter, and after that set active sort option which going to be a sort by, and also show the short modal as false. So what's actually going to happen on that particular instances, if we go over here, I think sort by function here, sort product. So this is the function which is really taking the hit. So we are capturing a sort by as a 3 parameter as a price ascending, price descending, and according to the rating, which is by default coming as a function as void. So now let's go in the short products, and over here you can see we are actually grabbing the 3 parameter. So from the parameter, first of all we're getting all the filter products from as a get method, and let's sort it filter products. So we're just using the sort method, and in case the sorted by, if it's having the price ratio ascending, you see 1 to 100, we're capturing like that. Descending is 100 to 1, and the rating, if it's have a rating, the higher rating would be getting at top. So that's how we are capturing. If we go now, you can see here we have 109.95. So if we just make the scenario work, you see what happened here. Yeah, remember previously. So I'm gonna go and I need to fix one more parameter. So if you go at the shop, because I need to inject that property. Remember I told you where we use the sort by. So we use somewhere. That's why the style was there. So I will just copy this one. Okay. So I will just copy, and right now as a sort option parameter, because our style as you see for the sort is broken, right? It's broken because we used it somewhere. So right now on that sort option, so let's say where we use that, so should be model container sort option. Okay, let's say sort option view, and on that particular view I'm going to provide that one, right? So now we have sort option, and then we're gonna having the sort option view. So let's go in the sort option where we really use that. So this is the sort option where we're having the filter property. Remember that filter, so that should be sort option view, and if we enter, you can see now it's doing good. So if we click here and low to high, you can see is getting low to high value. So starting from 7 and at the end all the way is getting 999. So we are just fetching all the products sorting by according to that price ratio, right? And the price is getting ascending. So that's what actually is doing. So even though you are just going through those parameter here, so this is how and why we are making all the scenario. Now as we are having that price data, we need to have other two also, which going to be high to low, and then the rating. So what I'm gonna do, so at the bottom of that parameter, so here we have one touchable opacity, I'm gonna have another touchable opacity, and as far as you can see there should be 2. Oh my god, again where I did something wrong. This is really this is really annoying, because that's the sort option. I think the sort view should be at the top in the header. Then why it just coming right here? I think again I made that mistake. So that's the sort option view, right? Sort option. I think sort option view, maybe we write it twice. Option view, no. Then why this is containing that? Okay, I think active sort button, maybe that's the one. Yeah, we are providing on that, so I will just try to fix that. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's going to be this pointer to be happen to be there, because remember we have two certain of a property which is the same, right? So we need to change the intersection. It was right, it was good, there is no error. There should be coming at 2, but now is active sort ascending should be DESC, so should be DESC, and the price ratio also going to be coming up right there, so should be DESC. So price descending. So now you can see that's what we are talking about. So now active sort button will not make the border weight. We can simply make that active button sort active button where we use that. This is coming to in instead of touchable opacity. I think instead of providing that, we can do some more changes. We can do it in the color. So that would be very simple and easy. So this is the end design, which is the filter. Okay, active sort button, which is not good. This is not where it should be. Yes. This is not where it should be. So that is the providing of that search one. Active sort button. Why we are providing that active sort button? Right here. I think initially when I was doing something, I may have mistakenly provided some class name. So right now we have like a search one parameter. So should be whenever the sort button is active, that should be coming. If we go low to high, let's say, yeah, that's capturing. That's just some misunderstanding here. The problem is creating is to making that filterable value is activated. So this is not, it's not actually getting activated. So you need to provide a condition, or you can see providing an use effect value. And so to implement that, so is an active sort option then going to be there. So now we'll wrapper it within a use effect at the top. So let's say use effect value. So on that use effect, we're gonna just show how it gonna render and when the color should be interchangeable. So first of all, set is filter active. It will happen on, let's say, if the selected category if it's not equal to, let's say, null. If it's not null, then it can be sendable. So if it's active category, and also it can be happen another provide. If active sort option is null, only then also it can happen. So let's say set filter active. This is something I think we might need to handle some of the, okay, I'll do something. First of all, once we are making that one as high to low, you see, so even we are making high to low and others, so we should engage some more property. So if we click C, low to high, so this is the function which is rendering. So if we just go here, so this is the function is run. So make that set active sort option, or set is filter active should be true. So the color should be popping up. So if we go here and if we click on that, you see it's active. So now we can see that filterable value is active. So this is what it can be done. Now here, as you see, instead of that active sort button here, we will provide something else. So instead of that, I think we make it within a text property, so within a touchable property. So now I think we can, this is the first one, the second one here. So it's a touchable opacity. I think here no need to keep in that. So I'm going to just remove that. So I will just go and inject a simple parameter here, simple condition. So you can see that one is done. So I'm going to provide it here. So instead of putting it right there, I'm going to go and combine it here. I'm going to say, let's say I'm going to go and do active sort button. So this will not be a good idea. So, but it's looking good. So now instead of that active sort button, active, let's say sort text. And here I'm going to provide some specification. Let's say I'm going to provide a, let's say app colors. Let's say color should be app colors. dot, I will make it a primary dot, I'm going to provide it 600. And also whenever it's active, I want to make it, let's say, font weight, and the font weight should be I'm going to make it as bold so that it can be easily understandable. So let's go in the active sort button here. So instead of active sort button, I'm going to make that active sort text. Okay, so now you can see it's low to high. So the same scenario, instead of this one, I will just remove it. It's just happened to be a misunderstanding. It should not be work in that way. So whatever I'm passing right now, that could be the solution of the problem which we are facing. So now whenever it gonna be DESC, so as you can see now, if we make it like low to high, so you see, so it's grabbing it and also it's checking that. So as you can see now, our filter is activated, but we should be able to create another functionality by which we can deactivate the filter. Of course, we're gonna do it, but first of all, we're gonna remove, we're gonna put another value, which will be like a rating value, right? So I'm gonna just copy our price descending and I'm gonna paste it again. So should be one more parameter gonna coming here, and then price low to high, not low to high, should be high to low. Let's say high to, and it will be all time low, and that one should be, let's say it will be highest rated. And over here, instead of rated, I'm gonna just provide a rating parameter because we already did the functionality. It will follow. So if we click on that highly rated, so whatever the rated variation is done, we are not showing the rating here, but it will work. You can show the rating. How we can show? Let's go back to our product card, and here just to show you that it's working, we can actually make something done. So this is the price which you are having. So within that parameter, we can just simply provide a view, and after the view, we can just render a text. And on the text, we can pass that, let's say, should be, let's say, I think it can be, is we getting the item or it's having the product here, provide dot product dot rating. So that's, we can pass that. It can just pass ratings and like that. Okay, this is how we are capturing that. So we have the product. Oh yeah, does we have the rating? Yeah, we have the rating, but we didn't capture it. But are we gonna having the rating? Yeah, we have the rating. So this product, it will be disappearing. Yes, I think that will do the purposes. Okay, why again? Number counts, number is unable to be React node. Okay, okay, rating dot rates, rating dot count, maybe count. So we can see, okay, make a reload as we already displayed so many things. So the rating is coming according to the number. You see how much rating is that. So rating dot count, I think, so that the good part, it will be instead of wrapping that one here, we can make it dynamically, because as we have like the rating conjunction is here. So I'm gonna make it as a view here at the bottom. So it should be, let's say, view. And on that view should be rating count, another should be, let's say, text, and we're gonna provide that as rating dot rates. So that will be rate and then will be number. So how much rating and how much number is capturing, we can easily see it all together. So right now you see there is coming here, but we need to make it in a proper way. So I think ratings, so I think we can capture it all together. I think rating count, so should be, yeah, good. Yeah, I think it's good. So instead of the view, we can just simply grab it at the text. So let's just put in style, and over here I'm gonna make that, let's say, style start rating, and I will see in the footer, so we have the margin bottom 8. Also I'm gonna make that as a rating, what we provide that rating text, maybe. Okay, did we provide that name as rating text? Okay, now only rating text, I think that's good. So now let's provide the rating text capacity, what kind of things we can provide it through. So let's say margin bottom should be 8, so it can press it all together. And you see and text transformation, which would be, let's say I'm going to provide it as capitalized, first letter should be capital, and that's it. And the color should be tertiary, maybe. Yeah, that's it. So you can make it more, or instead of tertiary, text color dot gray of, let's say 300. Okay, not like that, should be 300 maybe. Why it's not coming? So gray 300, like that. Now it will come. Okay, so 300 is looks off, so I'm gonna make it as 500. So or can make 600. So now you can see, but when we provide that margin bottom is not so good, so I'm gonna remove it. So now what we can do here, as we are happen to be curving a button, right? So you can see here that the button is actually capturing all the scenario. So instead of providing that footer view here, instead of make that a title, so if we just capture title, I think the title good, but is add to cart button. So I'll go back again at the top. So we have style.price. Okay, so we have the price segment. If we remove the price, so let's just go at the top. I want to see from where we're grabbing that. Yeah, that's margin bottom 7 which we're getting, so that's coming from the price. So I'm gonna remove that margin bottom, or I can keep that margin bottom. Yeah, I can just go with the compact. So it's not compact, then we can just go, because otherwise it will just provide that variation. So let's just go over here. I will make it also in a parameter. It's not compact, margin bottom 7. So whenever a button is there, it will compress at 7. Otherwise I'm gonna keep it like that. And for the rating count or rating rate, I'm gonna make that 2 fixed. Let's say I'm gonna make it I think 2, which will be fine. I think 0.12 24. Oops, it should be, let's say 0 or 1 character. That's interesting. 4.2, 4.9 or something. That could be, we can make it some other way. That is actually working, but we cannot decipher because the count is all together, right? So what I'm gonna do for that rating purposes, I will make a slash. Okay, so now you can see it's divided, and over here for that count parameter, I'm gonna go and I'll use a backtick parameter here. So should be initialized on the backtick, and then using the first bracket to making it all together, and then I'm going to provide the value. Should be a $sign. So now okay, I think, is it working? Okay, the backtick, it will not work because we need to inject it within a JavaScript. So then would be a backtick, and over here should be that. And for the rating count, we can just simply provide this much. So now we have that color, that count and parameter. And also for that rating, we can just make that we will make a 2 fixed as, let's say it could be just simply as 1. Sometimes it's a bit annoying, you know, the normal things is getting a lot of compression, so never mind about it. I would I know the normal error is just catching up, so it's just making a little bit crucial whenever we are doing that. So now as you see, we can now view the rating here. So let's go back to our shop. So over here in the rating properties, now we can see we have highest rated. So you can see all the 4.8 and other rating ratio is right here. Now whenever we are having our rating property is done, we also want to like reset the rating, right? So is that to make it happen, if filter is active, only then means we are having a rating position, then we are willing to make a touchable opacity, and on that opacity the text should be, let's say, reset filter. Okay, so that's what it can do. It will reset the filter, so that's where it can stand here also. And for this purposes, we're gonna provide any style, should be styles dot sort option. And also for this one over here should be style, and we can just provide that. Let's say we will make that the similar comparison, which going to be styles dot short option text. And also we're gonna provide a color, so it should be, let's say we're gonna handle the color here. The color should be let's say app colors dot error, so it should be the red color. So once we click on that particular color, we want something to be happen, right? So in that value we can just simply make that, so we know how to activate that one. We'll just click a simple function here. So whenever we're gonna on press on that value, we'll just create that functionality which can really make the reverse psychology to create receipt formalities. So should be handle, let's say a receipt filter. So that would be the function we're gonna call, and we're gonna make everything pretty tough from there. So that's the sort. After below that, we will just simply run that arrow function. The functionality it's gonna be, let's say it's gonna receipt a sort property, so should be, let's say a sort product. So that sort product should be null. So sort product should be, let's say the default property, which is a price ascending, and then it's gonna make that set active sort option, which going to be as a null property. And after that it also going to make that, let's say set show sort modal, which going to be as false. An active set is active filter, yeah, that's false, make it false, everything false. So if we click on that, so everything you see is down here. I think set sort product, I'll make it as an empty so that it can capture the data. Yeah, that would be nice for to go. So low to high, okay, and then it's capturing high to low. And after that it can capture also highest rated. Okay, cool. If we just click on that receipt filter, everything disappear. So now even in the receipt filter, okay, nice. So nothing on the receipt filter. I think by default it can, okay, we can make it as price ascending or rating. I think that's good. We're gonna keep it like that, so at least it's have a default variation value. So now as you see, we are having the profile. Remember we already create that, so I'm gonna just log in again. So let's say admin at gmail.com, and by the way I just skipped that for sign in part. So every sign in, it will send you to the notification. So how you can stop it, let's go in the Supabase. I already stopped that because that will be really making you annoying whenever you're working with Supabase. So I'm gonna just show you how easily you can stop that. Like every time you are making a new user login, the authentication parameter, it will stop for you. So I went in my shop card, and in the authentication parameter, as you can see, we have a lot of scenarios. So I'll go in the project settings, and from the settings we have lots of interfaces here. So we need to find something called for valuing on that. So I think we can find here, it should be coming within the authentication. So in the email, okay, you can see at the top about the sign in providers, and as you see here, so you allow user sign up, okay, and the email over here to send email. As you see the confirm email, which I make it off. If you make it on, and particular 1 hour, you can set only 2 mail. Okay, you can sign up only 2 mail, other, and then you cannot log in like sign up another more than 2 emails. So it will be a problem for you if you try to use several emails. So by default it's true, but you can just toggle it off, and that time it can work perfectly for you. So now I am having all the scenario, all the segment is almost done. So right now what we can do, we need to create some of the functionality. Before going further, I will create the search option, and after the search bar we'll go and fix all other properties, and we're gonna create all of our store and everything. It's already created. We're gonna just modify and use and prioritize all the section. The first thing first, we're gonna go in our search. Okay, so this is our search screen, and on the search screen we need to make compare couple of parameter. We need to render header and others. So first of all, I'm gonna go and grab all the parameter by which we can style it together. So let's just go and grab it. Okay, so that would be our style, and for the styles we need to import the app colors. I think we're good to go. Now on that particular segment, we can still again use the render card. Remember the way we did it. So first I'm going to provide the wrapper, and on that wrapper I'm going to provide a simple functionality which will be render header, which will be just a simple function the way we did it previously. So I will go at the top and let's say const render header. Okay, so that would be a simple functionality. And by the way, so okay, first I'm going to return something. Let's say a view, and let's say text, and that should be header. And what I was talking about, you see, you are keeping that. So as you see the render header, you always try to remove, like keep it at the top of the function. Why? Because see, there is already a function and you are loopholing that function within the function. So let's see in the shop if we did that same mistake or not. We did same mistake, and if you're having the question, I know you didn't raise it yet, but you should raise in the comment box. So as you see render header, you need to always keep that render header. You need to cut it, and then you need to just push it top at the top layer. Right now here you need to have the selected category. You need to pass the categories data. All the data you can pass it by props if you having creating a component, but as I'm creating a simple function, you can pass that here. Now you see the changes. For the function you can keep here, it will not provide. But if you're creating like the normal way, if you just create like that, like const, now we are calling it as a function, right, as a render header function. If we just go and make it as a render header, that time, like if also we need to provide an h, should be r render header, it will work. You can see it will work, but this time whenever you're gonna coming up, you need to put it top over there. But as you see, we're not passing. Now we can go with the props, right? So if you want to pass that as the top layer, you need to use it not like a function but like a props. Now either you can work with that whenever you're keeping function, it will be fine, but now I will do it as a property, as a several concern on that, so by which we can understand how those things can work. But the problem is that whenever we are going to do like that, we need to use the property, like you need to pass everything as a prop. So that I'm gonna just try to keep it within that functional layer, and I'm gonna keep it within my search screen. So this is I know it can be happen to be like a garbage talk, but it's better to understand that if you're keeping as a function, you can keep within it. If you're keeping as a component, you need to remove it and put it at the top layer. Okay, now for the headers, for the search bar, we should having some of the condition is there. So should be, let's say it gonna be a search query, and set search query, not that one, React, it should be disappear from there. We're gonna just grab it like that. So that would be a search query, and also should be a search timeout ref. So because remember, whenever you're gonna start typing any of the search input box in, then we need to give a specific time zone that after 3 milliseconds or 5 milliseconds, the whatever we type, it can be activated. So should be search timeout ref, and the reference should be use ref. And within the parameter, it can be, let's say it can be a value of number, and it can be a value of null. Okay, and this here, the first instance, I'm gonna keep it as the first dialog, it should be null. So now this is all the value, and of course we're gonna grab the value from our product store. So let's say const, we're gonna get all the data within the object, should be use product store. And from there, we're going to capture several properties. The first property should be the products, all the products. Then it should be the filter products. After that, you'll also getting the loading state. We're going to getting that fetch product stage. And then we're going to also getting that search products real time. So those are the things which we're going to fetch from there. And now, according to that particular instances, we're going to make things done properly. So first we're gonna create our header properly, like render our header in instances. So first of all, we're gonna go provide a style, should be, let's say, styles dot header. So that would be our header property. And for the text here, and that text could be, let's say, style, and this should be styles dot title. Okay, and the title gonna contain search products. So that's gonna happen right here. So now you can see it's just providing the padding bottom and background color, border width and others, and the similar injection we are putting. Now whenever we're gonna go within the single product, here we're gonna inject that one, right? Every single scenario, because we are showing that one, so they can easily go from wherever they can, from the shop profile and others, they can just easily toggle through and go backwards, right? So now we can provide the search row here. So let's put another view, should be another view, and on that view I'm going to provide another view, and then I'm going to provide the text input. Okay, we already have a text input, and in the text input I'm going to provide the value should be the value of search query value. Now by default is an empty, and on change text should be rendering handle search change. Okay, and we're gonna render that function at the top. So const handle search, let's say search change. So that's the function going to handle. I'm gonna keep it like that. And after that, for the text input itself, so now you can see there is an input here. You can type, but it's not working properly because we need to provide and encapsulate other value, and the placeholder should be, let's say, search product. So that will be the placeholder, and the style should be, let's say, style should be styles dot, I'm gonna make that as a search input. And also for the input style, so the input text variation should be, let's say, styles dot search input style. So now you can see we are having that one, but we can type, but we need to actually do lots of parameter here for the search query. So this is the search query, which is empty, and now also we are having a text, we have value, I think, yeah. So now for the search input value, you can see the margin bottom is 0, flex 1, getting entire property because you're gonna having a search icon there, and search input style is the background color is getting the secondary color, so that's the gray color is here, border radius is 8, background color border color transparent, and the padding right is 40. So you will make room for our clear button. So there will be a lot of things to be provided here. So first of all, we're gonna go at the top, we're gonna provide a style, and the style should be styles dot, I'm gonna make it as a search row. So that would be the style for the first instances, and that parameter here should be style, let's say styles dot input wrapper. So that will wrap everything you see in the search row, flex direction row, ln item center, and also the input wrapper. I'm making it relative position, flex direction row, ln item center. Now it's time for us to capture other parameters. So what we're gonna do, if we have the search query and search query dot length, if we have the length and the length is bigger than 0, means we are typing something there, then we want to render something. We want to render a touchable opacity here, and that opacity going to contain a and design icon, and the icon going to provide the name as close, and on that close name we will provide the size. The size should be 16, 16, and also for the color should be app colors dot, I'll provide a gray dot 500. Okay, so now if we type something, let's just type a text. I think why we cannot type this is, we need to check, especially in the input text input, we have the value, right? So the value is value, on change is getting the on change. So yeah, we should be able to type, right? Let's just go. Okay, I think we are misplacing something. Yeah, maybe. Okay, we'll see what kind of wrong we have been done. The slog is coming maybe from our single product page. You can see here, so where is the product, and that was the, I think, yeah, that is coming from there. Okay, now let's go to our shopcart YT. I think something was up, or we made maybe we made something wrong. So if we go, let's go in the search. Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, that is having a problem. So did you use search input anywhere? I think that's the one only we used, maybe. No, we used there. So log out. we use already here in the login parameter. So that's the same input we use, right? So that's the same text input we use. So I think that should not having a problem for the text input variation. Let's just type again admin @ gmail.com 123. Okay, let's go. So now still it's working, so I believe that should work here also. But for search, okay, I know why it's happening and what the things it can be done. So I'm gonna go in my handle search change. Okay, so let's go back here. Where is our handle search change? Okay, not here, not here. I'll go skip from there. So handle search change. Now this function is not displaying anything. So in the handles search change, we can just grab the view as it can coming the text as props. So should be text, and the text should be as coming as a string parameter. And over here we need to grab something. We need to provide the value and variance. So let's say set search query. I'm going to provide that text as the search query. So every time we are writing something, you see, now it's coming. So that was the problem only. So now the variance is very simple. It was just our errors because we didn't because if we just remove that handle search change, it will work properly. So if you see, if we just remove that, okay, now if you type okay, so I think, yeah, we need to properly align with the text input to grab that one. Okay, now let's go in our search touchable opacity here, which need to be make it better. What we're gonna do, we're gonna provide a style, and the style should be styles dot, it should be clear button, and you can see clear. And of course we're gonna on press on that button here. We will just make a simple I will create a function which can be handle clear search. So should be handle clear clear search. Okay, so I'm gonna go after that parameter, I'm gonna pass that one. So should be passing that. It's gonna make that set search query empty and set real-time product should be clear. So click done. Let's go. So it's working perfectly. Now after the search query parameter should be another where we can show the search icon. So below of that I think not below of that, after the twist step on that particular value, I'm gonna use another touchable opacity, and on that opacity we will make another undesign, and on that undesign the name should be, let's say, search 1, and I'm gonna make it app color should be, let's say, I'm gonna make it as dot background dot primary. So keep it white. That should be entertaining here, but we need to provide that some specification here. So style should be styles dot search button. So now you can see that's the button is happening. We are providing the app colors primary 500, border radius 8, border weight 44, height 44, and item center, justify content center, margin left is 8. So that's how we are rendering. I think instead of that I should be one step further so that we can go actual the simultaneous way. And of course whenever we're gonna click on that particular event, we'll just simply write a simple functionality. Let's say style should be style, okay, not here, should be on press event. So on press here I'm gonna make that, let's say, search product by real time. I'm gonna provide that search query to grab the product in real time. And I think I'm missing something we are having. So let's just go and dig down why our style is broken. So over here we have our input wrapper, right? So this is the wrapper which contain everything. So after the wrapper we are happen to be, okay, I think we need to have another container. So here it will be, let's say, style should be styles dot search container. So that's need to be pending. So this is the container which capturing the flex one property. And maybe so we are having the header, we're having the title, we're providing the search row, we are providing the search container, and also we are having input wrapper, right? So everything is in place. Now for the touchable opacity, we have search button, and yeah, that's it. That should work, but I don't know why it's just encapsulating. So it's also happened to be within a wrapper. Let's just go in the search row. So this is the contain all the two property, right? So search row, flex direction row, and I'm gonna make it a flex one to capture all of that. Okay, yeah, good. So now it's good. We need to provide, you see, that's the one. It's not, I think, align with the flex row also it will work. Maybe it's just a saving is not working. We need to go in real time to just come back on that, because my system, no, it's okay. I'll refresh it to just go and check the scenario. Okay, let's go back to the search. Okay, cool. If we click, cut. So if we click, whenever we're gonna press on that, it's gonna fetch our product in real time. So now as we are having the wrapper, I think we are good to go and see other values. So first of all, over here, after the render property, we're gonna go and style a property. If we have a loading view, we want to pass that, let's say, should be loading spinner, and otherwise we want to render something. So okay, what's is it good? I think, yeah, I think we start writing within the view of render property, so it should be out of that. Okay, so now if we have the loading, should be loading spinner, and otherwise if we are having an error, so if we're having loading property, if we are having error, then we're gonna provide that, let's say it's gonna be another view, and then we're gonna provide a text where we're gonna passing our error. Okay, so this is just a comparable to whenever we are grabbing the error, and of course we need to decipher our error from our backend. So over here we also need to inject the error, otherwise we cannot show it together. So now as what you're doing, we're wrapping everything with a single condition wrapper, like the way before we did, but now it's getting different. So now we are having view if we have error, and after that we also gonna write another condition. So if we are having error, we are providing the view which gonna contain the error property, and then if we are having a filtered products, so the products getting filtered dot length is equal to, let's say if it's 0, then we are having 0, and we are having search query also. So we are trying to search something, and the return and the response came is empty, so we're going to provide that empty state, and after that we're going to provide something. So if nothing is okay, I think so. Okay, let's just grab it. Empty state is there. Okay, I think one more condition which we are bypassing. Okay, so now we have the filter products is equal to 0 and search query. So we have search query, we have filter product, and then we're gonna provide an empty state. Okay, and then it's gonna stop, and the empty state property it's gonna contain the type it would be search, and then also the message going to be no products found matching MT matching your search query. So that's the condition going to be passing that variance. So this is the one state, and after that, yeah, after that we can render one more, and that should be a flat list. Okay, that should do. I think I need to craft something. So this is the one. Okay, I think in that way it's getting much more complicated. So I'm gonna go one more time to just go introduce the scenario. This is really crushing it all together. It's not looking so good, and whenever you're gonna typing the logic, you're gonna find it not meaningful. So whenever I'm gonna pass the loading, if we have the loading, okay, so first of all, again, I'm gonna go and try to recheck and recalculate. So if we having the loading, okay, we're going to pass that loading spinner. And if we doesn't have the loading, I want to provide a view. Let's say text. Let's say text. And that text can contain no loader, no loading. Okay, so now it's no loading is there. If we just put a null check, we can just passing that loading property. So now we have the loading instance done. Now after the loading, so this is the fallback ratio, right? So this gonna render whenever the loading is done. Now there should be another component library, component parameter. Like after loading, we want to add another component container or another constraint, which is error. And let's say in the error, we're gonna provide a view. Okay, so that view can contain something, and we need to interpolate within that. So that is okay. Now within that view, I know it's still complicated, but if you know how to do that in dynamic way, you can try to you can write less code, and you can still have a very good understanding of building the logic itself. So here I'm gonna provide the error. So let's just pass the view, and on that view I'm gonna provide the text, and the text gonna contain whatever the error we are capturing. And also for the view itself, let's say error style should be error dot not error, so styles dot error container. And the text going to contain, let's say it gonna contain the error properties. So style should be styles dot error text. So if you go error container, it's a flex one center, and the error text going to be the color of red. Now over here we can simply render it also. If you wanted to, you can just simply click like that. So now you can fetch the error, and we can just simply say underscore. So you can see now the value, I think it will be empty. Okay. Okay, we need to also pass the loading instances is done, otherwise it will not coming. You see? Okay, error. Now loading. Okay, we need to be encirculate the condition. So now error is not here. So I think yeah, I cannot go out of that to showcase the error. But we can quickly come over here, pass the value just to see the error is going to be coming like that. If we type something, where is the view? So error container, if we make it flex, yeah, so no need to place the flex, yeah, but it was there, but because of we create as a flex property, so it just creating that proper layer. So let's say products. Okay, do so previously also whenever we change the interpolation, it was there. Like if we just type something, it will show, yeah, because of the flex one view, it was just popping up. So now if we are having the loading, we're having loading spinner. If we are having the error, we have our error properties. And after that, also we can check another property, which if our product is empty, let's say filter products dot length. So not like that, length is equal to 0. If the filter products length is equal to 0, and also if we're having the search query, then we're grabbing the empty product, only then we want to showcase something. So it should be coming up as an empty property, so should be empty state. And here we need to define our type. So the type should be, let's say it will be giving a type of search, and in the description it should be grabbing the message. So we're gonna pass the message which gonna contain the actual property, which can say no products found matching your search. So now if you just copy this one, and if you just want to visualize, you can see what's going to happen. You see, that's the things going to happen once ever the search is not ready. So now everything is got it, right? So now this is the view where the magic gonna happen. So now if we go in the flat list, so the flat list property, so now on the flat list we need to make the data. So data could be either in a search query data layer, and if search query is there, then it gonna be coming as a filter products, and if no search query is there, empty array. So means if you're having a search query magic, so means having the product, only product gonna show, otherwise it will show nothing. And then gonna coming as a key structure, and in the key structure everything going to be rendered within the item not like that, everything going to render as an item, and should be item.id.toString. I'm gonna manipulate to create a string segment, and then number of columns should be 2. And also you do that, remember you're gonna get an error because on the flight they cannot do it. You need to make reload whenever you are putting a number of columns. You need to make sure every time to remember you provide number of column 2, 3, whatever you did, you need to make it reload, otherwise it cannot make it, because it need to allocate the property, because before is providing the view, it need to allocate whatever the how many columns it's gonna generate for the flat list. And on the fly once we create, it's not there, so it's gonna providing error. So whenever you are providing number of columns, you need to better specify and reload it. Now we need to provide our render item, and from there we can specify our item. And remember the way we did, we need to provide a view, and on the view we need to make that product card. Now you can design it, you can design it as a search product card, but I'm gonna just make that product as a similar layer, and also for the custom style, which going to be taking that as a weight, which going to be, let's say, 100%. Okay, so we have the style. Now we can view on that. Remember the way we did before, the same functionality. We will provide the styles, and that should be providing our product container. So now if you go in our product container, we should be having the same ratio, and also the column wrapper, which going to be and the product grid the same way we did before in the shop. We are providing at the same concept. Now if I put, let's say, shirt, you can see instant it's happening. And this is, we need to make a style on a bit. Of course, we're gonna do the gapping padding, we're gonna fix that. Then we're gonna go to capture the search. If we click, you see that will be disappear. First I'm gonna keep it that one, so the search is already there. Now as the search is there, we can combine it all together to provide such a good response on that. So now as we have it, so below that we're gonna make that contain container style, which going to be styles.product.grid, and the column properties should be the column wrapper, and also the list footer item. Now for the list footer item should be providing that list footer, the similar parameter which we did before. Now one more property gonna come over here, that should be list empty component, and that component going only to be rendered like whenever we are having we are having the search query. So let's say it should be rendering, we are having no search query, and then we if we have no search query, then we want to render something, and that could be, otherwise it could be null. So if there is no search query, we can just simply pass a view parameter. On that view parameter we can pass a text message that should be type at least 3 characters to search products, and we can make that one characters of should be CHARACTERS characters. So now if we removed, it should be appearing here. We will make it better. So style should be styles dot empty state container, and the type for the text should be styles dot let's say it should be empty state text. So this is just providing a bit of ratio, padding, align item center, justify content center, and empty state text, font size 16, app colors is the secondary, text align center, line height 24. Now here if I put something, you can see it's capturing. If I put something, it's also capturing. So now it's not like changing. So if I want to make it chart, you can see all products is coming here, not in the chart, but all the products is coming here. So now we need to go and combine a specific design and a specific pattern by which we can make the function better. You see, we are making that search query as the text. Now we're gonna define some of the logic here. First of all, we're gonna, as we did that, so if we have, let's say, search time ref, so that is the one which we need to dot current, so we need to contain on that. So here I think we need to go and clear timeout. So first of all, we need to wrap it through it all together, by which we should know that it's working or not. So we need to go and combine it all together. So yeah, should be, we're gonna run an use effect functionality. So top of that, we're gonna run a use effects, and over here we're gonna render the instances, because every time we're gonna change something, the function need to be called. So if we have that products dot length is there is equal to 0, only then we want to make that, we will go with the fetch products, otherwise we will not call that initially. And also we will go another portion, we will make a we're gonna make that as a clear timeout on component and mount and mount, and that could only happen, we're gonna pass a return function property. So that could combine if we have the search timeout dot ref dot current. If we're just going over there, we're gonna make that clear timeout dot and the clear timeout gonna be, let's say, search timeout dot current. So in that way it can like click a reference here by which we can really make things to be done. Now we have the timeout configuration here. Over there I'm gonna just make that if text dot length. Okay, so this gonna be contain the text property. If it's below than like is equal or not like that, is equal or bigger than 3, only then we're gonna render. We're gonna make that search timeout ref. So we're gonna go with the timeout ref property dot current, and then is equal to should be set timeout, and on that set timeout parameter we need to render it all together, and then we're gonna pass that set like the search real-time product should be coming according to the text. So oops, it should be not here. If text dot length, okay, I think we didn't provide the text length. Yeah, should be 3. Okay, is why if text, so this is the text, right? Okay, it should be coming the first this one, then this one. Okay, and their specification I will provide as a 5 milliseconds the duration on that, so it will wait for the 5 millisecond, and else capacity here, and then make the search products result. So should be search products search product real time, which I'm gonna pass an empty, so it gonna work as nothing. So right now if I put something a, okay, it's coming, but the text length should be accordingly, but I think we are providing the product from there. Let's say if we go in our real time, so let's go in the search real time. So to both of the search search capacity we're gonna talk about. So if you see in that search products, here it's just coming here providing the search term, the query lowercase to trim, and products is coming, also the category is coming, and filter products is coming here. And if we have the selected filter, by which if you have filter then also going to be doing there. Then if we're having the search term, we're providing that search term according to product, the title lowercase, description lowercase, category lowercase. So anything you type is match, it gonna coming up. So right now as you see we are having, let's say, shirt is matching, right? So now you can see all the shirt is coming. But the first instances, if we make, let's say what we can make a ring. But you can see the first instant the product is coming all together, so this we need to stop it. So that's we're gonna stop for sure. And then we're gonna having that set filter products. We're providing the filter properties, so that's the sort product, that's the search real time. So this is gonna coming back for the filter products, as you see. So I think in our search term we should not get the products, but we should get that filter products. Okay, I think accordingly we don't need to we don't need to have that product actually, because this is not mandatory. We are not using the product by itself. We are using our if you just see in the data layer here, we are using that search query and filter products. So it depends on that data query. So I think if we put chart, but still we are having that first glimpse, so this is really annoying. Now that should call only if we have that. I think I'm gonna revert something. So if we have that filter products.length, then we're gonna because these products need to be coming as a filter products, but why is coming? Let's go back here. So set, we are getting the query as stream. Okay, we are providing that set products.get products and loading false, and search is if no query dot, we don't want to pass that. You see, I think this is the containing that chart. Okay, yeah, now it's good. So ring. Okay, there is a twice is happening, so we can fix this. So set search results await query, so then it's providing the filter, providing the search results, and then this is really making some changes. Right, and G, this is why I'm seeing the product as first. You see, okay, we need to tune something. Okay, we'll fix that for sure, so no worries about that. And the condition is that we need to specify how the things can be done. Okay, whenever we are clicking on that, we are making something. So we're clearing that. If text.length, so I think not text is the search query.length should be there, because the text length, it will not be there. Okay, hey, but still this really I think that could not be on that property. The below layer cannot be done on that same instances, so that we can really do in a very local layer. So if products dot, okay, filter products dot length is 0, search query is there, empty state, and the flat list, okay, I think we can just simply pass that, let's say filter products, that's it. And then if we just put a query here, okay, search query dot length, okay, only then it can capture. Let's just see if it's working. Okay, yes, now it's working. So I'm gonna go and try to make something, let's say ring, but still alright, and G, if I having the ring, okay, it's just capturing the first instance, then it's capturing the all together. That is really annoying. So that's the item. Or we can go in the function over here. So this is our, like, say, called handle search change. So this is the function which we are calling here, and within that function properties, so in that property layer we need to provide, let's go, we are getting the search product in real time. So this here, the combination going to is query going to be coming as the trim. So now I'm gonna just log through the query. I'm gonna debug in real time. Let's just go get the query. So we'll go here and we'll try to intercept the query. So if we're passing that, okay, are you receiving the query? No, we're not receiving anything. Okay, we're receiving that. Okay, so means one thing is working. 1, 2, 3. And is 4. Okay, so means we are receiving the query here. So wherever we are passing that search product real time, this is actually working. You see, this function is only combining all together whenever we are passing that value. Okay, that's cool. So now we are having the search query ratio. So we need to work on that. So if query is empty, reset all products. So this is what making is actionable. We don't want to make all product to be in the query. So I'm going to remove it altogether. First of all, what is going to happen, we have query and the search results should be await search products API. Then the filter products could be search. So shirt. Okay, here is coming, but I want to lock the search products. So let's say search results. Let's cut it. Search products dot. I'm gonna go check the length, how many length I'm taking. So it's getting the entire product BC 20 D nothing. So now that what is capturing all together. So the search results, if query dot length is equal or like that, no, equal, I think we can now go and grab it. Oops, I think that's the way. Yeah, bigger and equal. So it should be bigger and equal, maybe first bigger then equal. Yeah, then we want to render it, so we will just trump it all together at this layer. Okay, so now let's remove it, so nothing gonna come up. So also it can be happen to be the problem of the state. So I'll go here, let's go in the search. First of all, we need to type something, so let's say test. Okay, now it's working. If we go here and if we just type that, let's say we are going to loading is searching for the product and we are not grabbing the product any. So first of all, we need to go like yeah, we can do it, else we can just make that set loading false, and filter products we can just make it as empty. That's it. So the loading, it will disappear for sure. So now let's go at the shop and let's try again here. Okay, not there, but let's go try to work within the search property, and here I'm gonna make it as a shirt. Okay, shirt is here. Okay, if we click, that would remove everything. Okay, I don't want to show any product, but I want to remove this. As you see, it's just in our life, whatever I developed before, it's having that issue same. But whatever I am building right here, right now in front of you is fixed. So this is the real joy of working like that. This is really remarkable. So let's just do and make some more changes here. Make ABC or ABD, nothing match. Okay, good. Let's say okay, ABC and D. Okay, nothing match. So if we go with that SHI, it should match some product, but it's not capturing, it's not calling. It's query.length. So I'm gonna go and check the query.length here. Query.length. Now if we go and check, okay, that is just SHI R. Okay, only then I'm grabbing that. So I think so instead of that, I'm gonna make it is bigger than 2. That's it. So I think that would be very simple to go and contradict. Okay, right now if nothing, so make that SHI R. Okay, query.length is 2, query.length is 4. Okay, I'm going to keep it like that. So it's up to you. You can if still you are having any issue, you can feel free to resolve it. If you cannot resolve it, let me know in the comments, but I think that will do the purposes and it will work perfectly. So we have all the functionality to create the search, and we are having the having a value the shop, and also we are having especially for the profile. And here, as you can see, whenever we are onboarding here, there is a simple tuning functionality which we can create. If you go at the shop, remember the way we are capturing those here. So whenever you are like coming back here in the first instance, you can just highlight or reload that entire capacity, because now this is the filter product which we are showcasing, right? So if you go at the shop, instead of showcasing the filter products, you can just showcase the products. So if you go at the products, so now you can go and fall back the products data directly in between, and here you can render. So as you see, we are passing that product data. So here is the filter product, and we are embedding filter products. So here we can just simply check or products. So now even you did a lot of things here, so now you can see it's just capturing that. If you go at the search, and if you just make that one a little bit like if you click on that, you see it's all are staying here. So shirt, strange, SHIIRT. Okay, actually we need to click on that it will work properly, because once we type, it's just also happening, but the proper action should be handling whenever you are typing. You see it's here. So now you can concat all together, like whenever it's gonna having the product, and you can also now you can tune through the route. Okay, so if you like, if you are passing here in the shop route, you can always capture the fetch data. You can see the way we did fetch product here. So you see the fetch products, so you can just simply provide the combination by which you can just grab it all together. Okay, right now what we can do, we will close everything as we did our part properly. So still there will be confusion, there will be some error which you'll encounter, and maybe it will not be resolved. So let me know in the comments if you are failing to contradict on something, and of course if you are facing any issue, that I will going to help on that. So now in the product card, it's our time to go and implement our, let's say we need to make that the handle add to cart properties, right? So first of all, I'm gonna go in our header. So it will be the home header. So in the home header, we are having that our logo, we are having our search parameter, we are having our this icon. So we need to implement our property here by which we can grab the things. So right now we'll go over here and I'm gonna grab my items. So and that item should be is equal to, let's say, use card store. I think use card store something. Use, what's the store name which you're providing? So should be in the store products. So product store, so should be product store. Let's just go in that product store. And here yes, product store, use product store. Okay, that's what is actually use product store, and we need to render it. And from there I'm going to just simply grab the items. Is it items or is it something called let's say there should not be that, because we need to use two, because this we need to use two separate store to combine it all together. First one is that whenever we are dispatching anything from here, like as you see, okay, I think before doing that, if we go in the single, yeah, we have one more portion which we need to consider. So I'll go and clean up that one, because we need to create that. We was missing to create it before. So first of all, as you see, we are having the product here. So if id fetch products, and then we can just grab the product data. So now if we go here, you can see we have the product data is all together. It just dynamically rendered. So now we are already did everything. So I think no need to grab this state property, because remember previously we cannot handle that. So I'm going to remove altogether all of the scenario here, because the product we're gonna render not from here but from our state. So what we're gonna do, okay, I think we can also use that. So we're gonna keep the state. Yeah. Okay. We are actually getting the product from our parameter here. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We are doing that. Okay, so what we are doing, we are using the fetch product data is a synchronous method, and then await for the get product and providing that id num, and that one also according to the number is coming. So id num, I think we are fetching our product directly. Now also we need to combine whenever we are having the product, we need to show the data layer, the design pattern. How we can show that? So we have our common header, and below that common header we need to go and combine and make things in a better way. And to implement that, the first segment after the common header, what I want to done is that I will create a scroll view, right? Scroll SCROLL, scroll view. Within that scroll view, I'm going to having another view, and on that particular view I'm going to having an image. So the image going to be coming from next image, and over there I'm going to provide a source, and the source going to be, I'm going to passing that URI. So the URI should be let's say product.image. And of course we need to provide the style. The style should be, let's say, styles.productImage. And of course we need to properly define this the style first, otherwise it will be more lengthy on that. So need to define the app colors, and I think we are quite good. So width and height, and of course we can simply get width and height from dimension. So let's go here. We can simply grab the width, DTH, and that can get that dimension dot get, and that will be grabbing from the window. So this is the width we can capture, and one more property can layer. Okay, that should be product image. Hit save. So now as you see, it can be making a meaningful scenario here. So I'm gonna go here, go in some simple property. Now in the product image you see width 80%, height 80%, but right now we need to go and specify especially the scroll view by which it can render. And I think I missed one more property. Did we just if we go here, I think you can hide it, or if you want to keep it. So I will not go with that. Okay, so now we need to define in the scroll view, we need to go and specify how the scroll view gonna be look alike. So first of all, for the scroll view here, you're gonna put a show vertical indicator, which I want to make it as a false value. And then for the view itself, put a style, and over here styles.image container. Now in the image container, see what we're having. We're having height, which actually a width is at the width, and height is capturing the width. So this much, if this much width, this much height. So that's how it's gonna render. And I think I'm gonna hide that. So, and the image gonna take 80% of that actual width ratio. And also for the image, I'm gonna make something which called that resize method or resize mode. Resize mode should be contain, so that you can see our image is ready. Below the image we need to have the other property. So as the view is done here, we need to have another view. So let's just combine a view, and on that view we're gonna having a text rendered, and this text going to be, let's say, products. And if the product have the category, then on that category I'm gonna, if the character at is coming with 0, then of course we need to make that to uppercase. That's how, remember the previous segment what we did here, the same thing we are just concatenating here. I think is it working? Okay, let me just grab it. It should be product is there, right? So in, okay, what's the product is possibly could be null. Okay, so that could be combining it all together, because if we go here at the product, so that is the product and it could be null. So here okay, the combination is quite clear. So what we can do here in the root layer, we're gonna just simply pass there if there is a loading. You know the trick, you can also keep it at the bottom layer, or also you can keep it at the root layer. Okay, so I'm gonna just return here. I'm gonna make that as a loading spinner, and then gonna pass that, and of course it's gonna go as a full screen. So if there is a loading, you see it's coming at the top layer. So I need to wrap it within a view. So provide a view. Okay, and on that particular instances, after passing that, let's say style, I'm gonna make that a flex one, and then align item center. Align items should be, let's say it should be center, justify center. So now whenever you are coming any of the product, you see the loading is coming here. So this could be a loading instances, and after that also we need to having another property if we have error, and also it can be error, and if we have no product data, that 2 times it gonna handle 2 separate scenario. First of all, it gonna return. Well, as you see, once we did that, the error is disappeared because it's now know that in the root layer we already provide that. So I'm gonna just pass a wrapper here, wrapper. And within the wrapper, I'm going to pass that a view, and within the view property, I'm going to having a 2 particular instances, let's say text, and the text going to be contain the error if the error is there, and if the error is not there, then it can simply pass that product not found. So that could be the message itself, and after that also it going to have a button. And on that button itself, we can do title. It could be say, let's say it will be go back. And after that, it could be on press. And on that particular on press, we want that to go back. So here we're gonna simply passing that router. Did you define the router? So should need to define that. Const router should be use router. Use route, not use route, but use router, which gonna coming from expo router. So we're gonna say that right now. It should be router dot. If it can go back, I think only then it can. So this is a 2 separate. I'm gonna explain that one. So I'm gonna just simply make a condition here. If router can go back, then it should be, let's say, router dot go back. Or I think no need to specialized on that. I think simply we can just make that router dot back. That's it. No need to having any fancy emotion. Now over here, I can just simply make that if also having product, we can say, you see, that's what is dealing. If you need to go, you can just go back right now. So also you want to show at in the middle. So instead of putting the wrapper, I can just make it at the view, putting a style here. The similar style what we did before, I can just go on and on with that same segment. So it will be at the middle. And also for that, for the text dialect over here, we can define some of the style. So over here should be style, and the style should be, let's say, styles dot error container. I think the error container are having all together wrapper. I believe so. Yeah, error container is actually hosting all of that. Also the text should be, let's say, style. Then styles dot error text should be the red. And then the button also going to have a property. So the style should be, let's say, styles dot error button. Now if we go here, error container, flex one, item center, justify content center, error text is getting that medium 16, that's it all, and error button is margin top. And I think right now as we decipher on that, we are not needing to have that wrapper and also that view, because by default itself it's gonna staying in the back. So now it will only happen once it cannot find the product, right? Okay. Oh my, it's when it's coming here, we just create, because this only happen whenever you're gonna click. You see, if you click on a tab, it will just style an HTML property. Okay, so now our error is gone. So we know the product is now having that category. So now we can start building our other scenario. Now we can combine all the container like content here. So we can just put a simple name here, which is going to be styles dot product info. So that would be our container by default. And if you go in the product info, you can see padding horizontal 24, padding bottom 120, padding top, and background color. So right now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna stop that loading preview, because every time it's gonna load and I don't want it to see right now. So what I'm gonna do right now after that, and of course at the meantime, after we done everything, we need to keep it back. So right now, also for the text, which is going to be a text of title, so should be style.styles.title. And for the title, we are combining all together font family as the interbold, font size 24, colors is the text primary, and margin bottom 8. So the same length of the enter segment is going on. After that, so here we are providing the category and then the title. Okay, so that's no, I think I made a mistake. Should be category. Yeah, that should be that one. So this should be font family intermediate, font size 14, color app colors text secondary, margin bottom 8, and text transform capitalize. Now after particularly on that, after the same ratio on here, I'm gonna generate another text which going to be combined. Let's say it should be happen to be coming to that as, let's say, product / dot, you can say make that as the title. And here I always want you to do some null check, is because if the product is not there, it gonna throw an error and your app could be crashed. So every time whenever you are taking a product, taking any data from the database or any source of things, you better try to use a fallback scenario. And that's why we are doing all this stop at the error, product, and loading, because especially in here it will rendering you, it will provide you an error and your app can be crashed. Now over here I'm going to provide the style, and the style should be styles.title. So that's how it gonna happen. So the font family interbold and 24, primary color, margin bottom should be 8. So now we are having our title. So what we can do after passing the title, we should be having a rating view. So I'm gonna make another view container here, and over there I'm gonna pass a rating. So right now we are not having a rating property, so we need to encapsulate and create that rating scenario here. So you need to create a component where we can show the rating. So first of all, let's go in the components, create a new file where I will pass that rating.tsx rnafs. And of course, we can also replace the rating the other segment. Remember where we actually needing that. Also in the product card, we can now simultaneously use that part also. And for the rating, we can now provide the, over here in the rating, we should be providing a two property, which it should be a rating, and the rating should be providing on that a product dot rating dot rate, or you can say the rate. And also for the count, we can just simply pass that product rating dot count. We don't want to pass entire thing, right? So that would be a massacre to providing on that. And also we're going to provide a style, and the style should be, let's say, styles dot rating container, and the rating container going to be a margin bottom 60. So whatever the item going to be there, it should be at a margin bottom layer. So let's go back to the rating. So in the rating, we are taking everything encapsulated, so it should be passing that interface, and interface going to be, let's say, a rating props, and on that rating props it will first come as the rating, and which is required, so it can be a number, and after that it could be coming as the count is an optional value, also be a number, and now you can create it as mandatory, is up to you, but here we know we have the value. And also we can define the size, which can be number, and also let's say show count, which can be boolean. That depends on how we want it to. That size and show count should be wherever we want to show the count or not. Now over here we can just simply go with that, let's say react.fc, so the functional component itself, and here I'm gonna pass that rating props. As we did that, we can now simply grab all of that. We can get the rating value, we can get the count value, and also for the size itself, we will first keep the size as 16, so that would be the icon size, and show count should be true by default. Now over here, as you see, we need to encapsulate several parameter here, how we're gonna show the rating, how the colors, and how other components should be there. So first value is that we're gonna define that should be rounded RUN rounded rating, which we need to make I think rounded, yeah, RUN ded, yeah, that we are making math.round.rating. We are capsulating together, and in that rating we can making multi like objecting it to and then dividing by its 2, so we're gonna have an absolute value over there. And now const, we're gonna make that render stars function stars, and here it will be a simple arrow function which gonna generate our entire arrow segment, right? So first of all, const stars stars going to be an empty array of stars. After that, now we're going to render our full star, so that would be contain the full star. So the full star going to be 4, and we're going to pass a loop here, and for let's going to be, let's say for let I, and let I should be is equal to 1, and after that not 1 should be I, the actual value. And of course we can, if its I is smaller or equal to is 1, okay, should be, and of I is equal or bigger than 1, then we want to make that math.flow. So math.flow, and then we want to make that as coming to the rounded rating, and that rounded rating going to be there. And of course after that we want to make that as I++ to interpolish the counter value, and of course we need to inject that scenario, otherwise it will start hopping the error. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make that stars dot push. Remember we have the star, right? Okay, that could not be const, that could be let, as we will modify, or I think we can pass that const value, of course. So it's right here, stars, yeah, should be, I make 1 star, yeah, that's why stars dot push. And on that push method we can simply make that the icon feather. We'll use the feather star icon, and the feather value we can pass the name, it will be star, not start, should be star. And the key should be to defining the value here, key should be, let's say it would be star, then it gonna inject within the $sign, then you're gonna provide the I, so it will get the absolute key value, and the size going to be the size which we are providing. And after that we're getting the size, and also the color should be, let's say app color. We are going to be okay, we're going to be app colors dot accent color, which is going to be, let's say 500 accent color. Okay, 500. Okay, that would be. And also for the fill icon, for the fill properties, it would be the similar of that color. Okay, so now we are passing that our fill icon, so that's the way it can be filling all together. And before making that property, first I want to show a icon property, right? So what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna put it style, and that style should be styles dot container. And of course I need to grab all the style from my root layer, so that would be all the style layer here. Okay, so in the container we're making flex direction row and item center, so whatever we are showcasing here, it would be side by side. Now first I'm gonna showcase a view here. So the view, within the view, it's gonna be coming as the render star, so should be render stars. Let's see, and we are having nothing. Okay, we are passing the render stars. I think we need to make something called as return. Yeah, I think as we did that, we need to return our stars. Yeah, so now we have 4 stars together. Okay, so that's what we need to pass. Now after rendering stars, so that would be the view, and of course we need to provide the style should be let's say styles container, so that should be side by side. You see the flex direction row ln item center, and after that view, if there is if we want to show the count, then it will show the count, and if the count is not equal to undefined, means there is count, only then we want to show. Okay, so there would be a text, and the text going to showcase our actual count, so it should be like that. And over here we're gonna render our count is not equal to undefined. Okay, so now you see 259, so that's the value which we are showing. And also we're gonna provide this style, and the style dot count should be there. Okay, so we are having the count value here, just making that margin left 4, font size 14, and text getting the text color as the secondary color. So now we're having the count value, but the star is not looking so good yet because we need to go and fix a lot of other things. Let's go back here, and as you see, we have 4.1 rating. If we go see, we are showing the saying the 4 icon. If we're having the lower rating, so we can go 1.9. You can see 2 icon. So this is how it's gonna change, but we will love to go into absolute 4 icon. Okay, now we will make a lot of other changes by which we can generate the same scenario instantly. So this is the, I think the fill is not capturing. Why the fill is not working? So that is the color, that's the fill color. So fill color, okay, there's so this is the for the full color. Then also we will render one half color. So after that instance here, we're gonna pass that half color. So as you see, okay, let me just grab that segment here, because as it's gonna be rendering initially all together. So I'm gonna go and prefetch that entirely. So that is the function which gonna handle us to get all the things together. So okay, why is broken? Okay, so that is one is for the render style. So this for I, and then we have like this the 1 star, then we should be generating our half star. So that should be containing that. So this is the full star, that would be the half star, which going to be the round rating is, and then is equal not equal to 0. Then we're gonna push that, which going to be that half star, and style that half style container, which going to make the position relative. I think we need to verify something, and also I'm gonna make an empty stars, because it's just rendering style. You can also do separate component for yourself to make it feels better. And I think the problem is that the icon is not showcasing. So I'm gonna go and let's say instead of feather, I'm gonna go and make that end design. Let's see the star. Okay, now we can get. So that's where it can really render. So I'm gonna keep the feather here. And I think instead of rounding on that, I think we don't want to show those two properties. I'm going to keep it because I don't want to make it more complicated. So instead of feather, I'm going to provide that and design. So now you see we have 4 icons, right? And of course, we can do some more layer here, and that could be possibly by doing it. I'm going to keep it like that. Okay, so now we're going to show the icon. So we have icon. Now if we go and make the half icon, okay, that's cool. So now if we go in the icons container, then item center, okay, so that's the half star dot push, that's the half icon. Okay, half star icon having the upside styles dot half background position absolute. Why we are making an absolute? Yeah, why? Yeah, it's my bad. It was some misconterpolation. So we have the half rating. So if we go here and if we go to create click on that, like rating 2 should be 3. So you see 2 is empty. So, and you know, we are showing the previous product itself as it, because if we just create our, if we enable our loading state here. Okay, so now if we go anywhere, you can see loading, we have 5 star because it's the rating is 4.8, which is 5, and if 2.2, which is the 2 rating, you see we have 2 star. So that's what we are looking forward. So it will be 3 star. So now I disable, like not enabling the loading, so you can see the same product twice. Now why we are doing that, as you can see, we are just trying to interpolate something. We have the full star, which going to be having that full center point. Then we have our, so the fill, it will not take. We don't want to make the fill for half star, and the half star going to be taking that rendering around that rating, which a %1 is not equal to 0 should be the last to itself. Then we are pushing that together, and which going to take that feather and then passing that view star of that size. Then also for the empty stars, which is going to be, I think the empty star is not required. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna use it that. I'm gonna just go with that too. Or I think, yeah, Okay, half star is okay. Okay, so half star is not capturing. So I can just go, I don't want to make that half star, I'll go with the empty star and also for the full star. I think that too will be good. So first it's gonna provide the full star is an empty stars, and then like if we have 3.5 3.2, it's gonna show that three icons is filled, two is empty. You can now encapsulate to make it half entirely, just to fill that true. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just deactivate my scenario, so I can now having my data back. Okay, now there is a lot of rooms to you can improve, and you can make that things looks better. And of course we can go within our over here, and instead of putting that, let's say go to the product card, and instead of passing that rating scenario, we can just simply pass that rating, right? Rating. And on that rating we can provide that rating, which going to be, let's say rating dot rates. Is it so? Yes. And of course then the next one, we need to also provide the count, and the count should be rating dot count. See, it's rendering. So the similar parameter which we can just pass it, we can pass it within a view property. So not like that, should be, let's say view. Okay, it's my bad. Okay, I'm gonna go again. So should be view, and then passing the rating. And after passing, we're gonna provide the style, and the style should be, let's say I'm gonna provide a, let's say margin bottom should be 7. That's it. And you know how to de-encapsulate that one, that's up to you. Or again, I think we can just simply go with the compact value here. So that is very simple. So let's go here. I'm gonna remove that, so this will provide the upon segment. Now also we can default the size, we can provide the size here. Let's say size should be 12, so it can be smaller size, and we don't want to show the rating view, so we don't want to show the count. You see, no count, it's up to you, but I'll make the count to be counted. Okay, so that's how we can render that one also. So this two segment is not required. You can also remove this style, so which is really not required. Now after that we have the, I think, the rating property done. So after the rating, we can now provide the price ratio. So over here I'm gonna provide the text, should be, let's say it should be I'm gonna go with that. Now you can generate the price format, you know how to do it, because I did it in so many project. If you cannot do it, let me know in the comments, I'll just show you how you can do it very simple way. So product.price to fixed, I'm gonna fixed within the to value, so should be product pricing layer. If you go here, we can see 22.3, and again here styles dot, let's say I'm gonna provide the name as the price, and this price contain font family interval size 24, primary 600, margin bottom 16. Now after that, after the text here, we will also providing another of course okay, should be capturing that text, which be saying description. And after below that, we're gonna pass that our description. Okay, what we are missing here? Okay, my bad. Should be uppercase. And of course, if we are okay, maybe without loading also it will work. Okay, it's working. Cool. Now for the style for the description text should be style. And that should be styles dot description title, which going to be quite like that. And also for the style for our description should be styles dot description. So this is the value which we are going to provide. And now here you can see in the description title, we are having the title for interbold and app colors text primary, and the description is getting the color secondary, and like that. You can also change the line height. If you want 20, you can see it will be caching all together, but I would love to have 24. And so it's all encapsulating all together. But after the price, I want to make one divider here. So I'm going to provide a view, and that view going to be having that, let's say, style, and the style should be styles dot divider, which just going to be like sharing it all together. I'm gonna be margin vertical, so not margin vertical, I'm gonna make that margin bottom. So bottom should be 16, not all together, so it having the length of prominent view. So now you see it's working perfectly. Now after that, so as we're having the description, now we need to provide a quantity container. So after immediate description, we're gonna having another view. In that view, we're gonna having a text, not like that, should be text. And on that text, we're gonna name it as quantity. And on that, after the below the quantity, we're gonna having another view. And on that view segment, we're gonna having a touchable opacity, and on that opacity I'm gonna provide that and design. So let's just grab it. So it should be and design. And on that and design, I'm gonna provide the name. Should be name would be the minus icon, minus, and also providing the size, which is going to be 16, and also providing the color, which is going to be app colors dot. I think I'm gonna provide that a color of text of primary. So you can see there would be a icon, a quantity, then there is an icon. So there should be a minus icon, there should be a plus icon, and then we're gonna having our value. So on the touchable opacity, first of all, in the text quantity, I want, or I can go with the view over here at the top layer of the view. So over here, I'm gonna provide a style. The style going to be put that styles dot quantity container. And after quantity container, we should have the text here. So style, and that should be styles dot let's say quantity title. Again, I'm referring, try to use reusable component as much as possible. And now here styles dot quantity control. So that would handle the quantity control. If you see the quantity container, flex direction row, item center, justify center, margin bottom 24, title is coming with the title ratio, controls is providing the row. So now we're gonna generate the other property which can showcase the button and others. Now, as you see the touchable opacity here, that would also grab the style, and the style should be styles.quantity button. So that would be a button, and as you see, whenever you press, it's just going to be there. And the quantity button gonna have an width 36, height 26, and the border radius 18. Background color is the secondary color, but it's not because this also I'm gonna make it as a primary. Okay, should be background dot primary, so you can see the white color because the background is white, so I think better to capture as a white color, otherwise it will not be visible that much. And also for the icon here, we can make that not the text primary but app colors dot primary, and then we can just provide at 500 so that we know it just, or I can provide a 600 ratio, so that would be looks very nice. Or we can also change, make it 20, it's up to us. And there will be one icon, not one, there should be two icons. So I'm going to provide another icon which should be plus. So you see there's minus, plus, minus, plus. So these two icon there, and in between of two icon I want to render a text, and the text going to contain our, let's say it should be the value of quantity, so that would capture the entire quantity segment. And then you can find the quantity at the top. So you can see we are having quantity, set quantity, because whenever we click we need to increase the quantity, then whenever add to cart we're gonna pass the quantity value there. Okay, so right now we have the quantity, we're gonna style it for a bit. So style should be, let's say, styles dot quantity value. So that's the value is right there. So quantity value is taking the 16 and F colors primary, padding horizontal 16, and button same what I showed you, putting just in the middle and getting width and height. Now you can make it up to you the way you feel it better and preferable. And after that, so as we are having that, and by the way, whenever you are seeing here is the common header, we already decipher for the header direction. I think that would be making a problem. So I want to make that home header, and here there should be a typical, as you see, that's the one which we need to render here for the common header. You also need to possibly pass that, otherwise in your Android phone it's going to be like scratched at the top, so you need to put that value there. Okay, So right now, after that scenario which is done here, so we can now go and particularly provide that make the possible scenario. So this is the end design. Here we can create an on press event, and whenever we're gonna make that on press, we for the minus value we need to make that quantity value as for it. So we're gonna just make a function here, or we can just simply create on this parameter. You can just simply make that, and you can simply pass the value here. For the decrease quantity, what it gonna go, it gonna go with a quantity value segment. If a quantity is bigger than 1, then it will go -1, because it cannot, if we don't set that, you can see here what it gonna happen is this 1, it gonna go -1. You see, we don't want to do that value, right? So that's why we are encapsulating the ratio here. If that one is right there, it will always make that one. So for right now, I'm gonna make it as 1 so that it will okay, I will just make that 1 so it will go out of the way. Okay, so that's why we don't want to go -1. And also for the increased quantity, what we can do here, we're gonna make that on phrase, we're gonna just simply make that set quantity. For the increased quantity, we can just make the set quantity, and here we can just go and define in a different way. First of all, as you see in that set quantity here, for the decrease property, set quantity, we can provide a decrease value. So set quantity, so whatever the pre value here, and from the pre value we can just make that pre -1. So that could be very easy way to complete that. And for increasing quantity also, we can just simply go with that set quantity. We can go with the simple functionality. So we can first take the pre value, so the previous value gonna come over here, and that should be pre +1. So that would be the more functional. If you click, you see 1. If we go back, but you cannot go below 1. And of course, we need to make it disable if it's like more than 1, or whenever we don't want to click on that, we need to make it disable. For the -1 here, we can make it disabled, and the disable value should be, let's say it should be disable if the quantity value is small or is equal to 1. So after that, you see, you cannot click. Now of course we need to also, in the quantity button, if we are having a disable, or we can just, I'm gonna make it like that. We don't want to touchable opacity. I think that's just, you can just encapsulate a design here. I'm gonna keep it like that. I don't want to, it's already taking a lot of time to complete that. So by having this entire segment, we are having done our touchable opacity layer, all the scroll view layer. Now that, as you see, is already getting at the bottom layer. So now what we can do, we can having another view here. In that view, I'm gonna provide a text going to saying that total value. So the total value itself, it's gonna handle over here. So I'm gonna go with the $sign, and then we're gonna pass that product. We will go within in wrapping that. So first it's gonna get that product dot price, and we're gonna go into with that, we're gonna just multiply with that quantity. So that would be a segment here. So in that entire value, we're gonna make it that to fixed on 2 parameter. Okay, so now you can see, you cannot view it because it's already taking out of this scroll view. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put in a style, and the style should be, let's say, styles.footer. So that would be the initial property, and you can see it's already in the footer. As you see, we're making an absolute bottom 50, left 0, right 0, keeping at the left right at the bottom position. Background color is the primary, border width 1, border top color is the app colors gray, and padding horizontal 24, padding vertical 16, padding bottom 32, just to provide that ratio here, flex direction row, and an item center, justify content center. So that's the total view which we are passing. And by the way, you can see our entire top portion here. I think we can make the container as relative. So if we just make that display, you can just make not the display, you can make it a position at, let's say, relative. Otherwise also it will work, but why we make the position relative? You see, that's the container which actually is not the view. I think this is the view, so I can make that one as position as relative. Yeah, I think that's the one not required because my view is not exceeding apart from that. Now we have the total view, so we need to provide that style, and that should be styles dot total price. So that would be according to done. You see font family, enter bold, and font size 18, color app colors, text primary. And after that we need to provide a button. So that's the button which is going to handle all together all of the things, and that button going to contain should be title, should be, let's say, add to cart, and on press it gonna handle an event, should be handle add to cart. And after that we're gonna having a style, and the style should be styles dot add to cart button. And of course we need to define that handle add to cart. So I'm gonna go at the top, and over here const okay, so right now I'm gonna just pass a toast message. So I'm gonna go and grab it from the product card. I'm just gonna place it here, so should be it the same thing which we did before. I'm gonna just do the same thing here, providing the logic. So I need to import the toast, and then it should be passing that product dot title. Okay, done. So now if you click, you can see the product added to cart. Now we need to go in a dynamic way, creating all the functionality. So this is the compression here by which we did all of the property here. All the maximization is done, and add to cart button here you can see width of 60%. You can just monitor the way you feel it better. You make it 40, but I'm gonna keep it 60 so that it will not be, or I can make it as 55%, so at least, or I think better to 50%, so having the text with the variation. So this up to you, but 60 looks fine to me. So now we are having almost all the segment done. So there, as you can see, now we need to work with two property here. So if you go in our store, we have only two store property, which is the auth store, and another one is the product store. So now we need to build up to separate store, which going to be, one should be the card store. So let's go in the card. So should be card store dot ts. So here we're gonna define how our card gonna happen, how I'm gonna card will work all together. First of all, I'm gonna import all the things is required. So that is we're gonna take the Justin from to create our card, and of course we're gonna use persist value here to combine it all together. Okay, so first of all we're gonna define the interface, should be card item, and on that card item should be product, which going to be as the value of product, which need to bring it from our type, and then the quantity should be a number value. Now we need to define our interface property, and on the interface we're gonna having that card store, card state. So this state going to having our items, that items going to having our card item, and that card item going to be an array of card item. As you see, every product on the card going to having two property. One is the entire product, whatever product we have. Then because the quantity should always increase accordingly, so we're gonna have a separate quantity within that card item. So that item should be the array of card items. So whatever, like you have 10 products on the card, the items will contain the 10 products, but every individual product will be getting that as a card item. Now we're gonna having an add item property. So the add item going to having that let's say it will be a similar functionality, and on the function it gonna take a product as dummy, as a params, and the params product would be product and the quantity. So in the quantity, if is there, should be an optional, because by default there will be one property, then it gonna be as a void. So that's how we're gonna inject all of this. So I'm gonna just go and grab my all of the property. So one will be in the card, one will be items, means the product, entire card product, and then will be add to add item, which will responsible to add product on the card, remove item, which will remove the card, remove the product from the card, quantity in update quantity, you know, increasing the quantity, clear card, get total price, and get item count. So that will provide the item value, how many items is available in the card. That will provide the total price available in our card product. Now we need to define the other property. So now we will create our state. Okay, so it should be use card state. So let's just make that export const use should be not you, I think use card state is good, use card store, yeah. and that should be taking a create functionality, and over there we'll provide our card state property. So should be card state property here, and after that, because this one it will combine with that persist, because you know we don't want event reload. I want the card product should be there and should be defining on that property. And after that we need to define the variation here, and we will go with the persist property, and from that persist we will go with that set, and we'll go with the get property. So that's two methods indefinitely going to work with that together. I think not like that. We will reply all together, then passing an object, and items should be, let's say item should be as an array of items. And after defining that items, of course we need to set our persister, so that's the items is going to define. And below that I'm gonna go and provide a state like that should be, the name should be card storage, and storage should be create JSON storage, and then we're gonna go with use that async storage to just go and amplify that. Now first thing first, we have like items, right? So that should be an empty items. Then we're gonna having our add item, and where we're gonna take our product, now the process, but it should be passing that a product, and then we're gonna capture our product. And remember the quantity, that quantity value we're gonna just provide the value as number, and first instances number should be 1. That should be our first parameter where we're gonna handle the number. And of course now we need to define the function, so that would be the combination of that. So first of all we need to set the property. So in the set we're gonna grab our state property value, and then on the state from the object, first we need to check if we have the product on the card or not. Or what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna just go and like pass all the function itself, otherwise you know the error is there, which I really don't like. So the remove item also going to be having a function which going to be having that product ID. So let's just go and prefetch that product ID, which will be as a number, and then we're gonna just simply render our function. So that is our add item and remove item. And after that we're gonna having also that update quantity, and on that update quantity going to having that product ID. So product ID, and the product ID also going to be a number, and also going to be a quantity property which is going to be a number. And then we're gonna having a clear card. Okay, so update quantity, and also that would be our clear card which going to be rendering a function. Okay, so now as you see, now we will define our property. Okay, I don't want to see the error, that's why I'm just removing and then clearing up everything. Now for the add item, it would be a simple combination here. Remember, by default going to be number 1. Now if this product is already in the cart, you know, I don't want to and pass that entire message, you know, I just want to increase the quantity. If it's not in the card, only then I want to pass the entire message. So what I can do right now is that we can just set the value. So it's gonna go and set a value here. So in that set value we can just define, we can grab the entire state property, so state, and from the state value here we can just simply define, first of all we can now know we can pass the existing quantity value or others. So const it should be existing item, and the existing item going to be, let's say it should be state dot items dot find. We're gonna find with that, and that find method going to coming according to the product ID, so should be item. And from there we're gonna pass a simple variation over there. Let's say it should be let's say we can just define item dot product dot ID is equal to, we can simply pass that product dot ID. So if it's match all together means we are having an existing item, right? Now over here, as we're having the existing item or not, it depends on whatever the combination we are having. Now first of all, if we are having our existing item, what we want, so that would be there, and else what we want. So that two combination going to be define it all together. So on a first value, if you're having that existing item, what we want to return. What we want to return, so we want to return an object. On that object the item should be, let's say state dot items dot map. We're gonna map through our item because we want to grab our entire item parameter. So item dot product dot ID and is equal to our product ID, like if it's matched together, so is equal to our product.id, only then we want to do something, otherwise we want to do that something, otherwise we're gonna just pass the item. If the item is matched, it's just a double safety to just check, and on the quantity value should be item.quantity, and that quantity should be plus quantity. So now what's actually we are doing, if we are having an existing item and then we are checking if the product ID is matching together, then we are passing that, we're increasing only the quantity. Whatever the product item is there, we're keeping that, then we are increasing the quantity, and we are passing whatever quantity we are passing right here. Remember, whenever we're gonna add, we know how much the quantity we are passing, and if its ID is not matched, only we are putting the item at the first time. Now else, if we doesn't have the existing item, we're gonna return, and what we're gonna return is a simple structure. We're gonna return the items, and the items would be state dot items, so all the state items will be there, then we're gonna pass the product, then we're gonna pass the quantity. So if the existing item is not there, then we're gonna add that. So if I have 10 like 2 items in the cart, then this third one, whenever I'm gonna send, so this previous 2 it will be there, then it gonna added that it will create a separate object where it gonna keep this product and quantity all together. So this is what we are doing whenever we are adding our product. Now for the remove item, so every time you're gonna pass that, we're gonna also set the first, because by setting we can actually grab our state. So here we can simply pass an simple function, so it will be item as that state state dot items dot filter. We're gonna filter through it, and the filter going to be combined with that item, and the value should be item dot product dot id is not equal to product dot id. So that's what it gonna do within the actionable parameter. Okay, so why? Okay, that's really annoying. Why it's okay? I want to make it reload. Let's see if it's just, it will disappear, I think, because we are not happen to be an error, because the IntelliSense, it will take a time to considerably done their job. So now the product ID, so whenever I want to delete a product, I'm just sending their ID, and what it gonna do, it gonna check my entire items, so entire card items. I have 10 items, then whenever I'm passing the ID, what it gonna do, if it's not equal, like whatever the ID I'm passing, it gonna filter, it gonna remove that product, and it gonna keep other products. So that's how it's gonna filter it all together. Now for the quantity, and you know, for the update quantity here, that should be an increasing quantity method, and then it will be a decreasing quantity method. So now if the quantity, whatever the quantity we are passing is equal to or smaller than 0, I think equal to and bigger than 0, yeah, that time it can handle. So I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get dot remove item. Okay, so I'm gonna remove item accordingly with the product ID, then return. So if whenever I'm trying to update the quantity, if the value is 0, we are passing a 0 value, of course, then it will automatically remove the quantity. So that's what it's gonna do. Then we're gonna set the variable, because set only be calling whenever I need to access our state. So over there I will simply pass an object here, and on that object, whenever I'm gonna passing that, the items should be, let's say, state dot items dot map, and over there I will access our item, and from there I'm gonna make that item dot product dot id, that should be is equal to, let's say, product id, and only if it's matched with that, then I will do something, otherwise I will do something. If it's not matched, I'm gonna just pass the item. Now if it's matched, what I want to do, I want to pass, remember, I'm gonna passing the quantity there, so I'm gonna leave it the item, and I'm gonna also leave the quantity. So I'm gonna replace the quantity every time I'm trying to add or delete, you know, I will just automatically replace that. Now it will not pass that. See, within that decrease, it will not add it to the item in the card. Whenever I click on that, only that it gonna add it to the card. So that's, I need to very clear on that. Now we have the clear card. So the clear card going to be setting a value. So should set a value, item should be empty, entire card would be removed. Now get total price is also going to be a function which gonna render off that it's gonna provide a value, so by which we can pass our entire segment and return. We will get all the items, and from there we're gonna reduce through that, and the value gonna prepare with the total view and the item properties. And we're gonna first capture the total, and total plus item dot product into item dot quantity. So that's how we're gonna capture. So every time I have a product, like I have a 20 products, and the 20 products having a quantity of 10, so 20 10 into 30, then it's gonna grab our actual total quantity, not the total price actually. And for the get item count, that item count also going to be combining a function. I'm going to return from that, it will be get.items.reduce total and items, so it's going to provide me the actual items quantity. So as you see, this is our entire cart segment by which we can enable our feature for our cart store. And now the similar way, I'm going to create another store which going to be create of that, let's say a favorite store, favorite store.ts file. Now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just grab it all together, and I'm gonna explain that so you can understand it. First of all, this is your time to understand how you can capture on that. So the product need to be coming from the type. Okay, now here the similar parameter is happening. We're having a favorite items where it's a product and array, add favorite, remove favorite, toggle favorite. You know, whenever we click, it will be added to the favorite and then removed to the favorite. And is favorite added or not, and receipt favorite. Now also is happen to be go through within the parse store, because otherwise it will not be saving in real time. Then add favorite going to add all the products whenever I'm clicking on that particular instances. Now in the add favorite, there should not be like existing favorite or not. Automatically it's gonna reduce the state. So you see, whenever I click, it should add to there and it can remove. So it's gonna be happening to be a toggle favorite. But on the add favorite, we'll just add that item on the favorite. So remove favorite the similar way, according to the ID, we are just removing the item from the favorite. And the receipting entire favorite item, toggle favorite, you see we are checking is already added in favorite or not. If it's not added, we are just, if it's added, we are removing. If it's not, we are adding. Then is favorite, we are just removing, checking that is favorite or not, passing and boolean value is true or false. That's it. So now basically what we did, we are declaring our old favorite statement. Now let's go back to the card. First we're gonna go in our header. Okay, so home header, where we can actually be seeing our product facility, how we can really pass the value. So first of all, in that home header, okay, I'm gonna keep that router as the top. So now here we're gonna get first, that should be use card store, so that would be the first, and then const we're gonna also having another one, use favorite store. So that two store going to combining, providing the value. So first of all, I'm gonna getting the items from there, and here I'm gonna getting that favorite items. Okay, so these two value going to interpolate all together to provide the value. So first of all, you see we have the icon for our love icon, which can actually say as the favorite icon. So over here we can define that. Now the value it will be there if we have the favorite item. I think we can get the count actually if we just go back here. If we see, we can pass the length, but also if we go here, we can no, there is no quantity. Okay, so we can, I will go with simply the length. That would be very easy to go. So that is our favorite. So if we have the favorite items dot length, then I want to put that favorite items dot length, otherwise it will capture a 0. So right now it will be 0 because it's not there. And the similar way, same of that, let's say items dot length is there, item dot length, then pass that items dot length, otherwise 0. And right now if we go in our use card store, use, okay, I think use card store, and in the card store we should getting that get item count. So this is not if you just see here, this is not the count, it is count for actual item. Like you see in that length we are adding, like I add one bag 2 bag, so the length is getting 2. But if I add, like in the bag I'm adding 4 pieces of bag, so the length it will be still 2, but the item count it will be 5 plus 1 6. So this is the difference here. Okay, so now first of all let's go to our add to product. So we're gonna first adding our product. So in our product card item we can initialize our first ever functionality where we can use our favorite portion. First of all, we need to define, or we need to bring the possibility here. So it should be const. I think there also we can, yeah, there should be an icon which we missed, because it should be, user should be able to add favorite from there too. We'll add that, no worries. So first of all, we're gonna have that add item, and that add item from coming from the use card store. And after that also it gonna make that, let's say const is also we're gonna make that two separation of things which gonna coming from use favorite store, and the two segment going to coming over there. One, it will be to check is like is favorite or not, and then it gonna also make that toggle favorite. So these two segment will be there. For the add item, what we can do here right now, first of all, you see the handle card. So I'm gonna take an event, and right now I'm gonna take in any event. So I just want to make something here, and what is that? I'm gonna make that e dot stop propagation. So I don't want to do that things here, and then I'm gonna add the product, and over here I'm gonna pass the value as 1. So it will add a 1 quantity. If we now click here, you can see product added, and you see card value change added. We can go here, and if we add one more, it's not changing, but if we click that one, you see it's added. So now we know the value is done. So now also we can check the toggle favorite one, and to do that we will also defining to have that something. So if we go in the image, as you see the image container, we already make it relative, so there is a portion to done true. So in the image, after that particular scenario, we should have a touchable opacity. On the touchable opacity, we should have an undesign, and on that undesign we will use the name, as the name should be heart. I think heart 2, ART. Okay, heart 2. Okay, and then the size, I want to make the size of 18, and also the color. And in the color, we're gonna define that some of the instance. So right now I'm gonna make that just F colors primary, like that. Okay. So this is the one. There is an error I'm capturing from where I'm getting that. On press handle add to card. Okay, what is there? ENE not assignable. I think we can make that one as handle added to card, handle add to card, and here. Okay. I'll remove that E. Go like that. I think it will be good. Okay, if we not require, I'll check if we are having any issue, then we will use that. Click here, click here. Okay, product is adding. Now here is the icon. You can see that the icon is already added, but we need to make it looks better and compatible with the design sense how we want to fill that. So first of all, I'm going to define a style, and here I'm going to go past that styles dot favorite button. Now on that favorite button, you can see position absolute, top 858, background color, which is gonna be as a favorite color scenario, border radius 20, border weight, height, align item center, justify content center, and so on and others. Now we got that, but we need to create the functionality by which it's gonna define the variable and other segment. So first of all, we need to create some of the segments. So we're gonna go in our heart icon here. So that heart icon, first of all, we want to show, you see the is favorite. So that's the value we need to check. First of all, we're gonna make a constant. So is fab, and that is fab is equal to should be is favorite, and we're gonna check according to our ID. So whatever the product we have, so we're gonna pass the ID so that we can check if it's added to the favorite or not. So if you remember, whenever we are passing that is favorite, we are passing the ID and then we are checking it, right? So that's the check we are going to passing there. Now as we are having that is favorite, now we can also go combine our style here. So as you see, favorite button, and also we're gonna provide that border width. So the border width we're gonna define is fab is there. If it is fab is there, then it's gonna be defined as, I think 1, it will be enough, 1. So otherwise it will be just a simple icon. If is fabric is there, then we're gonna see. Now also for this particular instances, we're gonna define is fab is there, then it should be the color is that app colors dot error. So I want to provide that especially the red color, and otherwise should be app colors, let's say should be app colors dot gray dot 400. That's it. So now it will go the gray color. Now also in the touchable opacity, we want to create an on press event, and which going to say handle toggle favorite, handle toggle favorite. So let's copy that, and in the top layer we will disclose the function. So after that, let's say const handle toggle favorite, and we're gonna define that. So in that here, not in the ID but in the product, we're gonna check is added or not. If I click anywhere there, you can see, okay, it's added. Okay, and also you can see here it's already added. Yeah, we need to create that screen by so far, but you can see if we click, it's already added. But I don't know why we cannot take, yeah, it's taking time to because it's taking, you see, it's taking time to check and return the value as back. Okay, but it's already added, so you know it's favorite, it will just go and make that counter interpolation. Okay, so providing a border weight in the border button, we are providing the background border color. So what's the color we provide? Border weight 1, it all should be the red color, and also the border width is 1. So what's the border color? Okay, border color also, I think it all which will be good. Just put a red color, all are red. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So now we are having our segment done. Also, we can just simply go in the functionality here, and also you can see you can click, you can create it here also. You see, that's also similarly it will work. And by the way, as you see, whichever is added here already, I think you can see is already toggling together. That's nice. If we go in our single here, so we want to add it here. So if we go in our ID, so which will be in our product card, so ID, and over here we can just simply go handle toggle favorite. You see in that layer here. So first of all, we need to go and consider it our handle add to cart. So I'm gonna just simply go handle add to cart, going to be passing that value. So let's just go here and it's gonna just passing that, and we need to grab that add to cart item. I think we need to implement that. So it should be const use cart store, and here it will be, let's say, add item. Now over here it would be added, of course, but you see we can add the quantity, it could be added, it's already added. We're gonna create the functionality, then you can see the ratio. Now what we can do, we can now also make the toggle favorite. Remember, we can just simply grab it. Did we define the function before? No. I'm gonna just grab it here. So this is gonna be toggle favorite functionality need to be putting at top. So const, let's see, we need to grab actually two certain kind of things here. So is favorite and others. So first of all, we're gonna check is favorite is available or not, and also gonna coming from the use favorite store. Okay, fine. So now we need to define that toggle favorite. So over here at the bottom, so I think yeah, I think it can be done here. So also remember, we need to have that is favorite functionality. So I'm gonna go and picture that one. So const is fab is equal to is favorite, and here I'm gonna pass that product.id. So that would be there. I think that would not require is it product, because we didn't set the product yet. So I'm gonna go at the bottom over here after before add to cart, so I can find my product here already set it. Okay, so now this handle toggle favorite, which already there, I need to inject here in the top. So where is that my, okay, this is the common header. So in the common header, remember, you see it's gonna be passing the isFab. So I can pass the isFabric segment here. So let's say isFab going to be isFab. Okay. And one more thing, so it should be taking that is favorite, and also it gonna taking the function which gonna be handle toggle favorite, gonna pass that handle toggle favorite. So if we go in the common header, we should be getting all together. If we click, it's already added, but we need to go in common header to go and make that segment to done and make it initialize that one. Remember the way we did it, we need to go and complement on the same ratio. First of all, as you see, we have show card, we have handle toggle favorite, so we didn't did anything here. So handle go back is there, so in that on press value, so on press should be handle toggle favorite. Okay, so that's the functionality we have been done. And also we have our show card, where I think show card is not required right now, so I don't want to define right now. In that favorite, we are having the favorite, so is favorite is okay. So now if we go and click, okay, the color combination is making bad, so we will see. And the problem the card is getting colored is because it's not for the problem here. It's because you see the card here, it should not be decorated as contradicting altogether. So I will remove this tile from here. Okay, because it will always get the normal temporary filling. Okay, I will check what is calling that active fabric background. Okay, so we should grab the colors property done. So I'm gonna remove it one more time. So so that would be like it's the contradict color is here. So now for the app, which we can do here, now we can define I will just change something here. So here instead of that favorite button, because we are generating that one here against on that particular segment, so we can make something, because in our ratio we are not showcasing the card, so I will need to define something, some variation here. So in the card outline, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to just go and define something. As you can see, this one is not, so let's just click. Okay, so favorite. Okay, this also here is the favorite one, so I want to make that active colors, text color. Okay, I need to remove the color here. Okay, now it's good. So if I click background color, it will be coming here for sure. So okay, it's just taking time, I don't know why. If we click, okay, whenever I'm adding, it's taking a bit of time, but I think it's quite good. So now we are having almost all together define is particularly done. So now what we need to do is that we need to create some good segment here, because now as we by so far we are having our shop, and then we can also like toggle through, we can just grab the product, we are having the profile where we can do all the things together. Then also we can now add it to cart, and as you see, we are having product in our cart and in our favorite. So we need to create the favorite portion and also the cart portion.